Do not come. Do not come.
Okay, this is the most disappointing video I've ever seen. She literally attacked the two things that I like. I'm a coomer. 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 I'm a coomer.
She says that she loves me, she just wants to fuck me. Got me feeling something, got me feeling nothing. Alcoholic junkie, says she thinks I'm funny. Think I might get lucky, spending too much money. She says she wants my necklace, put her on the guest list. Hope I don't regret this, hope I don't regret this. I'm feeling hella reckless, cashing all my checks rich. Hickeys on my neck, shit, she's on the offensive. I do not know my set list, still I'm gonna get lit. Yeah, I have a death wish, live until I'm breathless. I'ma stay progressive, she gon' stay obsessive. Life is so expensive, do everything excessive. I think my brain's defective, yeah. Can't think when she's aggressive, yeah. She snuck into my section, yeah. You think I'd learn my lesson, yeah. And we ain't getting no sleep. These girls don't even know me. Like Drake, I'm getting trophies. You want it, girl, then show me, yeah. And we ain't getting no sleep. These girls don't even know me. Like Drake, I'm getting trophies. You want it, girl, then show me. Cause we ain't getting no sleep, yeah. No, we ain't getting no sleep, yeah. She's sitting up in the front of the class, using that ass, she gonna pass. Keeping her pad and her pen in her lap. She been so bad with the men in her past. Now she just want the professor so bad. I'll give her lessons that she never had, like taking a freshman and teaching her math. I'll keep her guessing until she a grad. She always leaves them guessing, they don't know what's next, man. Learned it from the best, man. She loving every lesson, with hands-on sessions, points for attendance. She asks a lot of questions, I answer with my presence. I sit back while I'm texting, said she wants to get in, said she'll bring her best friend. Know what happened next, man. You know what happened next, man. Treat her like a guest, man. Rolling out the best, man. She had a confession, yeah. She wanna stay for a minute, she wanna play for a minute, she wanna slay for a minute. And now I'm all up in it. I'll be back in a minute, I'll be back in a minute. Make a track in a minute. And now I'm all up in it. No sleep. These girls don't even know me. Like Drake, I'm getting trophies. You want it, girl, then show me, yeah. And we ain't getting no sleep. These girls don't even know me. Like Drake, I'm getting trophies. You want it, girl, then show me. Cause we ain't getting no sleep, yeah. No, we ain't getting no sleep, yeah.
You said some things you didn't mean. I'm sure I did that too. egos clashing, dreams crashing. Whatever happened to me and you? From lovers to strangers, when everything changes, when we tear out the pages and only one word is left. Please let just be quiet until the next riot. Just give us some time for the wounds to heal. What is broken is broken. Let's just leave it for now. We need some perspective just to understand how. What is broken for now. What is broken for now. I think we both need to grow so that we need not to know. Maybe doubt, maybe ask, maybe understand at last. From knowing to asking, from tearing to building, from thinking to feeling, from hurting to healing. Please let's just be quiet and let the silence speak. Just give us some time for the wounds to heal. What is broken is broken. Let's just leave it for now. We need some perspective just to understand how. What is broken for now. But maybe tomorrow we will know how. Yes, maybe tomorrow we will know how. Oh, maybe tomorrow we will know how. It was beautiful, yeah, together. Even though we planned forever. Days of dreams, nights of talks. It was only us together. The world was ours, nothing out of reach. Imagine where we could be. Our dreams is one, hope brighter than the sun. What could ever stop us? Then it all turned, I don't know why. Still to this day, I'm wondering why. Will we ever know? Will we ever get to understand what we both went through? Anyway, I'm thankful for the times I had with you. I just want to thank you for loving you. Your love made me love myself more. And I could never thank you, never thank you enough. I was down when you met me, but your smile wouldn't let me think down on myself, look down on myself. You told me I could, that I should, I would spread my wings and head for the sky. Then it all turned, I don't know why. Still to this day, I'm wondering why. Will we ever know? Will we ever get to understand what we both went through? Anyway, I'm thankful for the times I had with you. I just want to thank you for loving you. Your love made me love myself more. And I could never thank you, never thank you enough.
We aren't better because we want to be. Because the road to hell is paved with good intentions. All the do-gooders in the world, whether they're doing good for others or doing it for themselves, are troublemakers. We white Anglo-Saxon Protestants, British, German, American, have been on a rampage for the past 100 or more years to improve the world. We have given the benefits of our culture, our religion, our technology to everybody. And we have insisted that they receive the benefits of our culture, even our political style, our democracy. You had better be Democrat, or we'll shoot you. And having conferred these blessings all over the place, we wonder why everybody hates us. Because sometimes doing good to others, and even doing good to oneself, is amazingly destructive. Because it's full of conceit. How do you know what's good for other people? We can change society. We can get enormous enthusiasm going out of the idea that there is a revolution afoot, and that this revolution is going to set everything to right. Do you know a revolution that ever set anything to right? Whether the revolution came from the left wing or from the right wing. When we have a great system, and great power to put it into effect, there is always more violence, more bloodshed, more trouble. Diabolical things are done in the name of righteousness. We don't change. We're doing the same thing today, but under different names. We can look back at those people and see how evil that was, but we can't see it in ourselves. So therefore, beware of virtue. We aren't better because we want to be. Because the road to hell is paved with good intentions. Because all the do-gooders in the world, whether they're doing good for others or doing it for themselves, are troublemakers. Lao Tzu, the Chinese philosopher, said, the highest virtue is not virtue, and therefore really is virtue. But inferior virtue cannot let go of being virtue, and therefore is not virtue. All the do-gooders in the world, whether they're doing good for others or doing it for themselves, are troublemakers. We aren't better because we want to be.
I need a smoke where the max is. I'm a king, fuck your status.
Hey,
Get
hi,
money, don't
hello.
pay no taxes. I'm a
What's
star
up,
in
internet?
life,
How's it
fashion
going
design,
out there? I hope everyone is doing well and good. Hope you're having a very nice weekend. Made it. It's the weekend. Congratulations. I am very tired and very migraine, and I don't have any weed, so I am smoking that. I love that for me. It's a good time. Please subscribe. I made some hummus, and it's very good. It's very, very good. I put extra lemon. It's super tangy. I fucking love homemade hummus. Getting into this, like, making things at home thing. It's just like, it's so much cheaper and it tastes so much better if you make your own salsa and your own hummus. You know what I mean? You save so much money. So much money. I can make hummus for like 2 weeks. And that would cost me like $20. But at home it costs me like 5. Like, it's so fucking dumb. Hummus is just beans. It's just beans. Why does it cost so much? Beans with extra seasoning. So we've got to finish Dark History. We've got to Positive Leftist. And then we just got fun stuff. Fun. The Friday. Azan did not even do Okay Body. So I feel like I need to fill the fun gap. Yeah, that's all I got going on. It's just migraine, pain, and hummus. That's my life. I hope you're doing better than me. It's wild. I spent all day watching Hassan covering the Kai Sanat, disaster, commotion, arrest. I don't know. Like, how do you call it? Like, it's so fucking stupid. Like, they deployed, like 2,000 cops for a crowd of like 8,000 kids. Feels like overkill to me. Feels like overkill. He was just trying to do like a giveaway based on stream and stay off the streets, which is like Young Thug's thing. Just trying to like give away like money for gaming systems and shit, and it just got so fucking out of hand so fast. He honestly didn't seem to expect that many people. Like, he said he expected like 500 people, but it was like 8,000 that showed up. He was like, right before it happened, like the night before, he was like, no way I could pull like 10k people. No way. Ain't no way in hell. It's my first meetup ever. Like, there's not that many people gonna show up. But, they did. Boy, did they ever. They showed up and out. And then, of course, all of the reactionary media is framing it as, like, a riot, and everyone is looting and all this shit, which is, like, unconfirmed, as far as I know. I haven't seen anything like that at all. In any large gathering of people, there's gonna be a handful of people that are trying to, like, take advantage of the situation. But, it seemed like a genuinely wholesome event that just, like, got way too crowded way too fast. Yeah, I don't know. I'm probably gonna wait to talk about that more until, we hear more. I think I got arrested and charged with, incitement of a riot, unlawful assembly, and something else. But I think the charges themselves are not even confirmed, so we don't even know. But, it's a bunch of bullshit. It's a bunch of bullshit. Hopefully he doesn't get the max sentence, 'cause that's like a year. That would be insane. That would be insane if he went away for a year. There's no way. There's no fucking way. But it is New York, and I don't know. Got fucking Eric Adams as the mayor. They might just want to like make an example out of him for social media events. It's all very dumb. All very, very dumb. But yeah, I'll just be waiting for more to come out about that before I talk about it more. I did nothing wrong. Except, like, be a little negligent. Yeah, could have planned better, but, I don't know. He isn't, like, 21. I don't know. And all of his audience are fucking kids. So, I don't see why NYPD needed to arrest fucking 60 kids because of a giveaway. Like, that seems dumb as fuck to me, personally. But I guess we'll see what happens. Yeah, I guess we can just get into Dark History. I'm gonna do my makeup real fast. I was very disappointed in this episode. I'm hoping it gets a lot more interesting, but I don't have high hopes. I do not.
He even waived his fee and took on a amount of properties. Included with these properties were about 100 enslaved workers. Now, this is where the complicated and hypocritical part comes in. As an attorney, Thomas took on several cases of enslaved people seeking freedom. He even waived his fee and took on the cases for free. And if the enslaved person lost the case, Thomas would give them money, which would then help them escape from their owners. And so much of his career is dedicated to the abolition of slavery. Now great, we love that. Now it's weird because Thomas Jefferson was the founding father who, he owned the most enslaved people. Make it make sense,
Yeah.
right?
That adds up. That adds up. Slaves for me, but not for thee.
I mean, at one point, he owned over 600 people. 600 people. And many of those people were just like whole families. Yeah, what the... Anyways, one of those families, the Hemmings, were about to become one of the names associated with Thomas Jefferson forever. Martha's father, John Wales, had several children with an enslaved woman named Betty Hemmings, which it wasn't an unusual thing back then. Sadly, enslaved people had no way of refusing advances, or let's just say it, like assaults, rape from their owners. And sadly, when the Hemmings were inherited by Thomas Jefferson, that didn't stop. Thomas at one point was the minister of France to the United States, and he even lived in Paris for years. So he ends up taking one of the Hemmings' kids, James, who was a teenager at the time. He takes him with him to France to be his butler. Thomas wanted James to learn the art of French cooking because, again, he's a foodie and he was obsessed with French food. He wanted to be able to enjoy it when he got back home to America. So he told James if he learned how to make French food and then could teach it to the chef at home, he would free him. Thomas got his wish, and a bunch of foods we know today, like French fries, became popular in America because of this deal. But the most famous thing Thomas was known for had nothing to do with food.
I haven't heard about that.
A few years later, his daughter's nanny, her name is Sally Hemings, joined them in France. Not long after they got there, Thomas and Sally started having a sexual relationship. Now, I hate to call it a relationship or an affair for two reasons. One, Sally was Thomas's property, and like we said earlier, she didn't really have a choice to say yes or no. And two, when Thomas got together with Sally, he was 44 and Sally was 14. Yeah. There are not many details about when or how it all got started, but we do know Sally was kind of like a nanny to Thomas's daughters. She would take care of them and help them get dressed and all of that, and she was also a maid in the household. The sexual relationship between Thomas and Sally carried on for most of the 5 years that Thomas was in France. And just before the whole Jefferson family was about to pack up and head back to America, Sally revealed that she was pregnant with Thomas's child. Now, if you've been paying attention, you'll remember I said Thomas Jefferson's father-in-law was Sally Hemings' father. I need a little chart, don't I? With a laser pointer. Wouldn't that be fun? Let me know if I should do that down below. That means that Sally and Thomas's wife, Martha, were half siblings. Sally and Martha were half siblings. Got it? Okay, great. Which is kind of wild. Yeah. Sorry. I'm putting the pieces together right now, and I'm like, yeah, that is wild. So Sally ended up negotiating with Thomas, saying hey, listen, you have to promise me to free our child once they turn 18, okay? Or I ain't coming back, bitch. Which, essentially at this time, to make demands as a young teenager to your boss who impregnated you, that was very, very brave of her. Once they returned to America, the baby sadly passed away, but Sally went on to have 6 of Thomas's children. 4 of them survived to adulthood, and eventually it seems like Thomas did end up keeping his promise because he did free all 4 of the children he had with her, which is the bare
What a good
minimum,
guy.
but, now Sally never left Thomas's side, and she lived in a wing of his infamous estate, Monticello. Plantation owners impregnating enslaved women wasn't unusual back then, which is so sad, right? Oh my God. To high society, it was kind of a secret that people just did not talk about. It was just something that they kept behind closed doors. Death to all of them, the people who were raping the women. Well, those doors were blown wide open when Thomas ran for president against John Adams. Thomas Jefferson was John Adams' vice president, and even though the two were best friends at one point, competition really turned them against each other, naturally. During the presidential race, all the salacious articles started coming out, saying Thomas was keeping a sex slave named Sally Hemings in his home and was even having children with her. Gasp. I know. Which really just goes to show you that, even then, the media was nasty. Jeez, it's so annoying, ain't it? Anyways, it did some serious damage to Thomas's reputation, but eventually people, as they do, they got over it. This was the man who wrote the Declaration of Independence at the age of 33. And everyone's like, dude, give him a break. In 1800, Thomas went on to win the presidency, and 4 years later, he won re-election as well. Thomas and Sally's relationship lasted almost 40 years until Thomas died on July 4th, 1826, which is kind of silly, huh? He died on the day the Declaration of Independence was adopted, and on the same day, his political rival John Adams died. Wow. What a story, huh? I guess on his deathbed, Thomas asked if he outlived Adams. After they confirmed that he did, Thomas then passed away a few hours later. That
oh my God.
Is petty.
The spite.
That's funny. Thomas went on to be known as one of the most beloved presidents in history. He reduced the national debt. He founded the University of Virginia. There are countless memorials and schools across the world built in honor of him, which we love education and many things he did for the country. But there doesn't really seem to be proper acknowledgement about his history with the Hemings family out there. And, you would think that would change. The final founding father in our deep dive is Mr. Benjamin Franklin. Now, compared to Washington and Jefferson, Benjamin was a much more mature, older man, he was 70 years old when the Declaration of Independence was written, which essentially for that time was ancient.
Literally ancient. Oh my god. Hi Chase, what's up?
I'm not saying it's ancient. I'm saying for that time it was. Okay? Listen, you got it? Good. So we're taught in school that in 1752, Benjamin went outside during a storm and flew a kite with a key attached to it. Then it got struck by lightning and ta-da! He discovered electricity. But the problem is, that story and just like the George Washington with the cherry tree, it's made up. It's a lie. Everything's a lie. First of all, if this experiment played out how it's told in history class, researchers agree that Benjamin would have been toast. Yeah. Second of all, he didn't discover electricity. It was a well-known thing by the mid-1700s. Now, Benjamin did help Thomas write the Declaration, and he was important in the creation of the Constitution, but he was also a writer, a businessman, a scientist, an inventor, a diplomat, a politician, and a philosopher. Talk about doing it all, huh? But really, I was like, okay, but what was he like as a person, you know? I wanted to know. So Benjamin was born in Boston on January 17th, 1706. And here's the crazy thing about that. His birth was just 14 years after the Salem witch trials. So America was still kind of at like this really interesting place. You know, one would call it a really safe place for women. I'm twitching. But now Benjamin's dad was a soap maker, a candle maker, and a certified baby maker. He had 7 kids with his first wife and 10 kids with his second wife, so Benjamin was baby number 15. That's a lot.
Lord.
From an early age, he learned that having a quick wit and hot takes was the best way to stand out. Ben left school early, and like George Washington, he pretty much taught himself everything he knew. When he was only 12 years old, he went to work for his older brother in a newspaper print shop in Boston. And this experience working for a newspaper had a really big impact on young Benjamin. 1, he learned the printing business, and 2, Benjamin had a gift for writing. In fact, while working at the paper, he asked his brother to publish some of his work, but his brother did what all supportive older brothers do and told him, no, you're not gonna do that, that's not gonna happen, okay, beat it. Then one day in 1722, letters started showing up at the newspaper offices. They were slipped under the door in the middle of the night, and the author was a widow who went by the name Miss Silence Dogood. Benjamin's brother published these letters, and his Boston readers were absolutely obsessed with it. They were living. The letters were entertaining, but also had like spicy commentary about citizens' rights, like freedom of speech, and it also poked fun at society in general. Long story short, these were words from a smart troublemaker. It was satire at its finest. Now, single men out there thought Miss Dogood was so witty and charming that they started sending marriage proposals to the newspaper. I mean, Miss Dogood put out 14 letters and told.
Classic.
It was popular. People loved it. But what they didn't know was that this middle-aged woman writing these smart letters, Miss Dogood, she was actually 16-year-old Ben Franklin. Catfish. Yeah. And when his brother found out, he was pissed and immediately stopped publishing the letters. This secured Benjamin's reputation as a guy who wasn't scared to piss off authority figures and challenge the establishment. Not long after this, Benjamin said, hey, fuck it, I'm out, and left his job working for his brother.
I'm out.
He moved to Philadelphia, Pennsylvania in 1723. Philly became Benjamin's home base for the rest of his life. And over the next 30 years or so, I mean, he was just a busy man across the board. In the love department, he hooked up with his landlord's daughter, whatever, no big deal. And eventually he ended up marrying her. But in a surprising twist,
As you do.
Benjamin had a son named William. And it turns out it wasn't with his wife. To this day, I mean, no one really knows who the mother was. And yeah, and Benjamin and William, they would go on to like have serious bad blood between them. In the business department, Benjamin was doing well, okay? He was killing the game. He became like the official printer of Pennsylvania, and he bought and published a newspaper called the Pennsylvania Gazette. It became the most widely read paper in the colonies. Now, this gave Benjamin a platform to really lean into the whole clever disruptor identity, Eventually, Benjamin became the richest guy in Pennsylvania after putting out a series of successful books called Poor Richard's Almanac. Now, these books had everything. I mean, weather predictions, poems, puzzles, household hacks, and even astrology. Ooh, sounds fun, huh? Now, once again, he was writing under a fake name. He was using the name Richard Saunders, and he published a new edition of this book every year, and he did so for 25 years. And the colonists, they just loved it. They ate this shit up. He sold about 10,000 copies a year, and that was, it may not sound like a lot now, but like back then, that was a shit ton, okay? That was a lot. So as Benjamin's status rose, so did his reputation and influence. But some people thought, that Benjamin guy, he's like really full of himself. Another founding father, John Adams, thought Benjamin was just a clever bullshitter who hogged the spotlight. Oh my God, you guys, get over it. He's a good writer and people like him. Adams once said Benjamin's, quote, whole life has been one continued insult to good manners and decency. I know. A very old-timey burn, isn't it? Bring it back. But Benjamin didn't care. You know, I mean, he was rubbing elbows with all the elite in early America, and he had friends in high places. Some of these friends ran the government of Pennsylvania, and they appointed him as the colony's representative to Parliament in England. And even in this position, he kept stirring the pot, which was about to bring America and England a hell of a lot closer to war. You see, in 1772, the governor of Massachusetts and his right-hand man sent a bunch of letters to Parliament in England. And I guess like in those letters, the governor was talking shit about his own people. I know. Saying that the colonists don't deserve equal rights with the British, just going on and on and on. And then the governor thought like, I should have more power and I should have more British troops, you know, to keep the colonists in line. Now, no one knows who leaked the letters to Benjamin, but what we do know is that he got a hold of them. So Benjamin secretly sent these letters back to some radicals in America, and it wasn't long before they were printed in full in a major Boston newspaper. In a matter of days, people organized, took to the streets, and they started riots. They wanted the governor removed, and they were getting even more pissed at the Brits. This whole thing set the stage for the rioters to go into the Boston harbor, grab a bunch of tea, and just dump it into the ocean. Or maybe you know it as the Boston Tea Party. Yeah, there was tea involved. Or was it tea?
Classic.
The British were searching high and low for whoever leaked these newspapers to the Boston newspaper, and eventually, on Christmas Day in 1773, Benjamin came forward and said, quote, oops, it was me. I was just trying to help you guys, no big deal. Direct quote, I'm sure. Benjamin was called before a British council for, what he did. Now, they went in on him hard, just yelling at him, disciplining him, making him feel shameful and humiliated, and then they fired him. And that was the straw that broke the camel's back. You know, honestly, I never understood that saying. Why are you poking a camel with a straw? You know, doesn't make sense. Benjamin was now officially ready to take on the British and just
leave the camel alone, honestly. Hey, Swamp Rat. Was watching the upload of a upload, I'm just saying. Was just watching the last upload of a pre-upload upload. I think I just had a seizure reading that. The last upload of a pre-upload upload. I don't know what you mean. Sorry.
2 years later, the Revolutionary War, well, it breaks out, pitting the colonies versus the British. Now, we don't need to go into the nitty-gritty of it all because, but what you should know is, you remember Benjamin's son, William? Well, he was on Team England, while Benjamin was on Team America. So after the war broke out, William stayed loyal to the British king, while Benjamin was off helping Thomas Jefferson put together the Declaration of Independence. And William was arrested by American soldiers and held as a political prisoner. He would end up spending years in jail, including 8 months in solitary confinement. And at any point, Benjamin could have used his influence to free his son, but he didn't. He's like, nah. It's very Stalin, you know? But Benjamin could
Heartless.
be stubborn and petty, just like these other men. This father-son relationship, it never recovered. And during his final years on Earth, Benjamin became America's first ambassador to France. And while he was there, he became a celebrity and a fashion icon. Okay, sure. And girl, I mean, he really leaned into it. He loved the attention. His outfits were understated.
It seemed to rebroadcast on stream. What? No, I'm here. I'm really here. I'm not a cat, I promise.
But he wore like a super big fur hat, and it became like his trademark. I love it. And created this idea that Americans were like rustic, but intellectual frontiersmen. That's what the fur hat was giving. Yeah. French women even mimicked the look with oversized wigs in a style they called hairdo a la Franklin. That's funny, actually.
All of
They
Franklin.
wanted to look like him. Odd choice, but okay, ladies. Benjamin died on April 17th, 1790. He also died rich. Historians aren't exactly sure what his net worth was, but they all agree it was in the tens of millions of dollars. Did he bury it somewhere? And I guess he ended up leaving most of his estate and money to his daughter. Her name was Sarah. And obviously, he didn't leave William much of anything. He's like, nah, you're good, bro. Benjamin even left $2,000 to the city of Philly and another $2,000 to the city of Boston. Now, a lot of people swear Benjamin was a president. I thought so too, and it turns out he wasn't. He wasn't a president. Duh.
Not,
It's giving
yeah.
very Mandela effect, isn't it?
No, Bailey, it's not the Mandela effect. You just don't know who the presidents were. Shut up. Shut up right now. Oh my god. No, a lot of people think that because he's on the 100. But he was just a founding father, not a president.
Or maybe it's just because I just didn't know, really, okay? So, yeah, Benjamin was not president. If you learn anything new, that's what you're gonna learn today. To be fair, he had presidential level recognition, and even to this day, because it's him and not George or Thomas on the freaking $100 bill. Boom, bitches, I'm on the 100. And the last thing I'll mention summarizes Benjamin perfectly. He was a fan of what he called air baths. Instead of actually washing himself, he instead would take off his clothes.
I'd poke my eyes out if I did that. I'm just saying, you get used to it. It's like a muscle memory.
Get completely naked and just sit right in front of his first floor window. And he would just air it out, just air everything out. And he believed that it was good for his health. And speaking of airing it all out, that's kind of like the point of this whole episode, right? Just getting to know each other a little bit more, So look, we can all agree that it's important to remember the past and honor history when appropriate, but it becomes a real slippery slope when we build the founding fathers up as gods. Because when we do that, people start worshiping them. And then it becomes a mortal sin to disagree with them. And next thing you know, it's starting to feel like one big patriotic cult. Did these guys have some good ideas? Sure. Were they trailblazers? Definitely. But they didn't do it alone, right? And they also had some real flaws. They did a lot of shady ass things. Two things can be right at the same time, people. Also, I find it very interesting that George and Thomas made it onto Mount Rushmore, but Benjamin got no love. Well, whatever. He's on the 100. He's like,
Is that good enough?
Anyways, tune in next week when I really unpack the whole government these guys set up. It'll be fun. Don't worry.
Let's
It'll
go.
be fun. Come back.
It'll be so fun.
Honestly, I don't really understand it. I don't understand a lot about the basics of our government. And it feels like they made it complicated on purpose, right? And I think they probably did, so we wouldn't understand it and know what the fuck is going on. Anyways, I'm talking about the dark history of the branches of government, but it's gonna be cute. Don't worry. Sounds boring, but it's gonna be cute, okay? Anyhow, don't forget to join me over on my YouTube, where you can watch these episodes on Thursday after the podcast airs. And while you're there, don't forget to check out my murder, mystery, and makeup Dark History is an Audio Boom original. This podcast is executive produced by Bailey Sarian, hi, Junia McNeely from 3 Arts, Kevin Grush, and Matt Enlow from Maiden Network. A big thank you to our writers, Joey Scavuzzo, Katie Burris, Allison Filobos, and me.
Yeah, that was disappointing as fuck. The darkest part was George Washington used his slaves' teeth in his dentures, and Thomas Jefferson impregnated his slaves? That's all you got? That's all you fucking got? It's America, baby. There's way darker shit than that. You can do better.
Bailey Sarian. Writer's assistant, Casey Colton. Production lead, Brian Jaggers. Research.
Okay, positive leftist news time.
Finally, some positive leftist news with Mexi.
Welcome to Positive Leftist News, where we round up all the best stories you won't hear from mainstream outlets. I'm your host, Mexi, reporting on both the triumphant wins and the progress being made by people coming together and engaging in collective action. So feast your eyes and ears, and here we go. Almost 3 years since Schuyler Williams stepped onto a Caledonia construction site and became the public face of an Indigenous land defense movement known as 1492 Land Back Lane, an Ontario judge has ruled that he is a free man. Daryl Porter, a second land defender, was also granted an absolute discharge, and all other charges leveled against Williams had been removed.
Washington apparently wasn't wooden teeth from myths. Yeah, that's what I said.
Prior to his sentencing. Williams' lawyer was expecting at best a conditional charge, and the Crown asked Justice Gethin Edward to give Williams a criminal conviction. Instead, after hearing about Williams' actions in their historical and legal context, Edward granted Williams an absolute discharge, meaning he would receive no criminal conviction, could avoid future prosecution, and has unrestricted access to visiting the land back site. Edward stated Schuyler Williams was carrying out his actions as a land protector in the context of these Haudenosaunee laws. Mr. Williams clearly expressed his view that any further attempts to develop contested lands would be revisited by him. In her expert testimony before Edward, Indigenous lawyer Beverly Jacobs put it succinctly, "You call them protesters, we call them protectors of land and territories, for our people and for the future of our children." Reminder to all settlers that land back is nothing to be feared. Make Turtle Island great again.
Ew.
Black liberation
Don't say
fighters are
that.
celebrating the news that the longest held political prisoner in the US, Rochelle Cinque McGee, who fought behind bars in the 1960s and 70s liberation movement, will be released from prison after 67 years. The Coalition to Free Rochelle McGee wrote, "We must be clear that Rochelle has been the main driver of his own release. This release will allow him to spend the rest of his life outside of prison walls with his loved ones. We in the Coalition hope that this monumental victory will inspire increased commitment to the release of all of our political prisoners. We reaffirm our support for justice for all political prisoners across the US, and we will not give up the fight." Hundreds of volunteers across Atlanta, operating in 3 shifts daily, are taking on the task of collecting more than 70,000 signatures in 58 days to push for a ballot referendum in November on the construction of the Atlanta Public Safety Training Center, better known as Cop City. They can be seen at farmers markets, going door to door, in grocery stores, and parks. They are posing the question, what would you rather the $67 million of taxpayers' money going towards
Literally anything else. Put it into education. Put it into infrastructure. Pretty much anything else.
City be spent on? Thousands of signatures have already been collected. Organizations and individuals are donating resources. There are demonstrations, letters, phone calls, and texts pouring into corporate headquarters and Atlanta politicians' offices. There is still a chance that Cop City will never be built as long as the people's resistance holds strong. On July 13th and 14th, 60,000 members of the Korean Health and Medical Workers Union from 140 workplaces across 102 branches held a 2-day general strike demanding safe staffing and fair pay. This marked the largest health sector strike since 2004, with over 90% of workers expressing support for the action. Happily, the strikers managed to bring the ministry to the negotiation table. Na-Soon Jha, president of KHMU, met with Vice Minister of Health and Welfare Park Min-so, agreeing that further bargaining would take place in good faith. This gave strikers the necessary assurance to suspend the strike. KHMU stated, the KHMU will continue to fight against and push the government to present a practical and forward-looking solution while joining in genuine dialogue and negotiations. Growing worker actions in Korea are in open defiance of the almost comically neoliberal Yoon government that has been a disaster for the Korean working class. All power to the people. The Teamsters Union has won an incredible UPS contract. Their press release states that the Teamsters reached the most historic tentative agreement for workers in the history of UPS, protecting and rewarding more than 340,000 UPS Teamsters nationwide. The overwhelmingly lucrative contract raises wages for all workers, creates more full-time jobs, and includes dozens of workplace protections and improvements. The UPS Teamsters National Negotiating Committee unanimously endorsed the 5-year tentative agreement. Teamsters General President Sean M. O'Brien said rank-and-file UPS Teamsters sacrificed everything to get this country through a pandemic and enabled UPS to reap record-setting profits. Teamster labor moves America. The union went into this fight committed to winning for our members. We demanded the best contract in the history of UPS, and we got it. UPS has put $30 billion in new money on the table as a direct result of these negotiations. We've changed the game, battling it out day and night to make sure our members won an agreement that pays strong wages, rewards their labor, and doesn't require a single concession.
Oh my god, dude.
This contract—
I'm so fucking glad that they won this contract. Like, they were asking the bare fucking minimum. The bare minimum. So, I'm glad they were able to come to an agreement.
Sets a new standard in the labor movement and raises the bar for all workers. An incredible reminder that the union makes us strong. The Dilemmas of Humanity Pan-African Dialogues to Build Socialism Conference took place in South Africa from the 17th to the 20th of July. Nearly 40 people's movements and organizations from across Africa have gathered to come up with practical steps forward for a united fight against the oppressions of capitalism and imperialism. The event is underpinned by the consensus that capitalism has no solutions for the problems that confront humanity, and the question, what is the path that we are going to chart towards socialism? Following from this, a central part of their project was forging concrete strategies to ensure their movements wouldn't be hijacked and divided by NGOs, individuals, and academics, as well as rejecting imperialist attempts to draw the continent into conflict. The task thereafter was focused on building a revolutionary agenda and objectives to mobilize the working class. Kwesi Pratt Jr., the General Secretary of the Socialist Movement of Ghana, said, "We will build socialism in Africa, we will build socialism in the world. Socialism will conquer capitalism because it is the only system that can deliver justice, economic, social, political justice." On July 8th, over 300 California Amazon strikers and their allies met pre-dawn at an Amazon warehouse and truck barn in Boston. With bullhorns blaring, they blocked off multiple gates with moving pickets, immediately preventing multiple Amazon big rigs from delivering to the facility. Almost 100 new supporters joined the action, along with uniformed United Parcel workers from across the street who were inspired by the turnout. The strike had been organized simply via text chats without public announcement. From the beginning of the strike to 8 a.m., not one vehicle was able to enter or leave the warehouse. The striking drivers made it clear they would keep coming back until an acceptable contract in the warehouse was won. The strike comes as Amazon is facing a wave of unionization. Keep the pressure on, guys. Remember, the boss needs you, you don't need them. The state of Rajasthan in India passed a bill this month extending Social Security to gig workers without any debate. The Rajasthan Platform-Based Gig Workers Registration and Welfare Bill extends rights to gig workers, including having access to general and specific Social Security schemes and having an opportunity to be heard for any grievances, among others. Rakshita Swamy, who has been working for gig workers' welfare, termed it as a historic development. Very welcome news. Hollywood's largest strike in over 6 decades has now been joined by thousands of actors in an immensely powerful act of solidarity. Screenwriters walked out on the 2nd of May in protest over pay, working conditions, and the industry's use of artificial intelligence. And on Friday the 14th of June, around 160,000 performers stopped work to join the 11,500 members of the Writers Guild of America. By midday on Friday, union members and their supporters gathered outside of the offices of major studios and streaming services in Los Angeles, New York, and other cities. Actors will not appear in major films as big as Avatar and the Gladiator sequel, or even promote movies during the strike. Academy Award winner Susan Sarandon told the BBC from a picket line in New York, "AI will affect everybody. If it isn't solved now, how do we ever solve it in the future? If you don't have the foresight to put something in place for the future, then you're screwed. It's clear that nothing is going to change from the top down. It's going to be up to us at the bottom." Will Barbenheimer be the last Hollywood movie ever? Stay tuned to PLN to find out. On Saturday, the 15th of July, air transport unions in Italy went ahead with the planned 2-day strike, which led to 133 flight cancellations impacting 270,000 travelers. Striking workers included pilots, flight attendants, baggage handlers, and airport personnel. Strikers are demanding a new collective contract 6 years after the previous one expired. Labor unions said they called the strike over absolutely unsatisfactory contract disagreements with the parent company, Malta Air. What will come of the strikes remains to be seen, but airline strikes are usually disruptive enough to get results. Since June 1st, around 200 members of the York South-Weston Tenants Union in Toronto have mobilized a rent strike in response to yet another above-guideline rent increase that will be ongoing until they reach an agreement with the landlord. Tenants are already dealing with the cost of living crisis alongside stagnant wages and an average cost of rent of $2,500 for a one-bedroom apartment. Some tenants are already foregoing food to pay for rent. Beverly Henry, a senior living on fixed income, worries she will end up homeless. "I have nowhere else to go," she says. Mobilizing that many people to stop paying rent is no small feat due to fear of eviction, but there is strength in numbers. The landlords can't evict everyone, demonstrating the power of collective action. PLM will keep on top of the story as it develops. The last two non-union casinos remaining on the Las Vegas Strip, Venetian and Palazzo, have struck a deal with the culinary union that will enable non-gaming employees to unionize while managers remain neutral and respect their decision. The culinary union released a statement that read, "As union organizers continue to have conversations with workers at the Venetian and Palazzo, we are respectfully listening to what is important."
I didn't realize even fucking Vegas is unionizing. That's amazing.
Important to workers, what they would like to preserve, and if there are improvements they would like to see implemented. This ends a decades-long standoff between Las Vegas's largest unions and Venetian and Palazzo's management. Combined, the Venetian and Palazzo have some 8,000 gaming and non-gaming workers who now have powerful leverage in securing better working conditions and pay. The International Workers of the World Escape Room Workers Union is now organizing in several escape rooms across the UK in protest against poor health and safety conditions, low pay, and little time for breaks. In a statement on their website, the ERWU wrote, "The working class and the employing class have nothing in common. We want our grievances to be listened to, for our labor to be fairly rewarded, and for the escape rooms across the industry to maintain a high standard for safety and workers' rights. Rather than quitting, which is the only suggestion made by our bosses, we have instead chosen to form a union and fight for changes together." The ERWU invited all escape room workers to follow their example and join them in the union. Their contact information will be provided in the show notes. On June 23rd, hundreds of same-sex couples and transgender people in Mexico City came together in a mass ceremony to celebrate same-sex weddings and the completion of administrative processes to allow folks to change their genders. Approximately 120 couples met the requirements to get married under the banner of Hand in Hand, We March with Pride. One groom, Edgar Mendoza, expressed his gratitude for finally being able to marry after 10 years with his partner. "This is a very important document, more than a piece of paper or a symbol of marriage. It is security that I can give to my family." Nepal's Supreme Court has ordered the government to begin registering LGBT marriages, effectively legalizing same-sex marriage. This breakthrough moment came about after 7 people, including activist Pinky Gurung, representing the Blue Diamond Society, an organization advocating for LGBTI rights, filed a writ to the Prime Minister and the Office of the Council of Ministers, calling for the legalization of same-sex marriage. The writ invoked the Constitution of Nepal, which guarantees both the freedom to marry for all individuals and that all citizens are equal under the law. Sounds like a very strong constitutional argument. Congratulations to LGBTQ folks in Nepal. A Scottish trans woman has been cleared of all charges after posting an alleged threatening tweet about transphobic politician Edinburgh MP Joanna Cherry, which said, "STG, swear to God, I'm gonna pop Joanna Cherry." Following the evidence, Sheriff Ian Anderson said this was a very unwise message that no doubt caused a great deal of concern. "But I have some doubt, reasonable doubt, as to your guilt in the matter, so you are therefore acquitted and I find you not guilty."
Based.
Jo Cherry is a transphobic member of parliament who has a bad habit of suing people anytime they say anything bad about her. She previously threatened to sue the Stan Comedy Club for refusing to platform her. Not this time, Joe. Trans rights are human rights.
Get fucked,
In late
Joe.
June, young activists from Ghana and Lesotho took to the streets to protest the sexist taxation of menstrual hygiene products in their nations. Organized by the women's wing of the Socialist Movement of Ghana and other organizations, the action aimed to draw attention to the overlooked issue of period poverty. In Accra, Ghana's capital, protesters marched to Parliament, where the Speaker of the House paused the ongoing session to meet with the marchers and hear their demands. Speaker Alban Bagbin assured the protesters that their voices were heard and to expect a positive response from the government. Being experienced activists, the women's wing of the Socialist Movement of Ghana vowed to return to the streets if the speaker does not make good on his word. China is on track to nearly double its wind and solar capacity and surpass Xi's clean power goal 5 years ahead of schedule. China has installed a record number of solar panels in the past 2 years, and wind and solar projects are set to reach 1,371 gigawatts by 2025. While coal is still China's main energy source, its shift toward renewable energy outpaces every other nation. For more than a decade, China has been the world's fastest growing producer of renewable energy with no sign of slowing down. This is very welcome news for the global climate. My friends, if you have good news from the current month, please send your stories to mexi@protonmail.com.
From the current month. Hey, if you've ever heard any good news ever, please let us know. It's very urgent. Please, God. I'll be back in a second. What are your pronouns, cunt?
I don't like girls, I don't like boys. I got a they, them baddie that I enjoy. Boy, I'm in love with the they, them. I'm in the club with some they, thems. 10 out of 10, what I rate them. Got their fucking cent, I don't pay them. They said they're no binary, I said cunt, that's fine with me. You can still inspire me, I won't call you he or she. I don't care what you got downstairs as long as you can lick my feet. I don't care what you got downstairs as long as you can pee on me. Pull up, knock the cunt out if they ever come misgender you. They're just jealous, they can't pull a kick, they them and get it rude. LGBTQI plus I love them also very much. They identify as fluid, so I go and pick them up. On my bros like shit, 3056, they a he or she. I don't give a shit. People coming up to ask me if they a girl or boy. They a girl or boy, yeah, they're somewhere in between.
What are your pronouns, con? 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 What are your pronouns? Before I go down, hit that ass out, hit it from the back and spin around. What are your pronouns? I don't mess around. I got sexy they them baddies in my sex lounge.
I'm on Smith Street with some hot humans. Someone bump that Charlie XCX and go stupid. Someone bumps that lot of powder and they fucking lose it. It's a Western exclusive, but it's still inclusive. Heard you used the wrong pronoun even though you knew it. Heard you used the wrong pronoun and my night's ruined. When I'm with some they them gangsters up in Mount Druitt. Put your hands in the air if you're gender fluid. They can't see him, they can't she her, they can't say them, but I'm it that. I'm an object, I still skid fat. In the gender neutral bathroom, make that ass clap. They got XX chromosomes with different expressions. Smash and break the ones with my genderless affection.
What are your pronouns, con? 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 What are your pronouns? Before I go down, hit that ass out, hit it from the back and spin around. What are your pronouns? I don't mess around. I got sexy they them baddies in my sex lounge.
I wanna take down the billionaires so frickin' bad. Middle class are gonna get things they've never had. I'm gonna do progressive things. I'm gonna make college free. Okay, I'm gonna take down all those big pharma industries too. You know what? Oh, every time I open my eyes, you know what I see? You know what I see? I see my name on signs. They're everywhere. These things are everywhere. Talking, they're everywhere. the right, I swear. Oh, they better prepare for when I take down the billionaires.
Yes.
I'm
True
talking
banger,
about
right? It's so fucking
the
good.
rich like Bezos, they never told you. While they're making millions, you struggle feeding your children. All the money to the 1%, yeah. We'll be raising taxes where all that money went.
Kind of mid. My Bernie songs.
You guys, my dad literally just got punched
And I
in
do
the
it
face
again.
for being a Trump supporter. Like, that was it. And I do it again. And I do it again.
I need a drink. I'll be right back.
Do it again. Do it again. And do it again.
Hold up.
Do it. Do it again. Do it. Do it again.
The company store, the paradigm of absolute control. And that's why we're just out here doing simple things, pointing out that we're meant to be in nature and be natural. And this is where we find the source that God made to transcend the New World Order. And that's why they want to try to keep us out of it.
I'm angry. I've had enough of these people. They're a bunch of Christian murderers, scum. They're on giant death factories, keeping babies alive and selling their body parts. What more do you need to know about these people? I go out and face these scum. They literally crawl out from under rocks. They have green looking skin and they run around screaming, we love Satan, we wanna eat babies. I have them on video. Hillary's in the creepy weird sick stuff, man. She sleeps in the same room with that creepy weird woman whose mother wears a hood over her head. What the hell? That woman number one is ugly. Imagine how bad she smells, man. I'm told her and Obama just stink. Obama and Hillary both smell like sulfur. Literal vampire pot and the goblins are hobbling round coming after us. My spirit gets close to that evil and I feel it go. We're such self-centered crap. We don't even notice hell itself rising up against us. Millions upon it, people of the very worst type, and I'm so pissed. We're gonna stab your daughter at the mall. We're gonna stab your wife, your son. We're gonna stab you with a butcher knife, and then the police chief is gonna say, we love our Somalis, we love our Muslims. Oh, they're so good, oh, they're so sweet.
I was watching Fox.
Shout out to all my Somalis and all my Muslims. Oh, they're so good. Oh, they're so sweet. Yo, so I've had one of those nights where, like, the only bottles of liquor I have in the house are, like, a drink left in each. So, I've had 2 glasses of wine, 2 vodka drinks, 2 rum drinks, and now I'm having a drink with tequila, like a margarita. Wish me luck.
Fox News, I worked out this morning. I will eat your leftist ass like corn on the cob. I'm ready. I will eat your ass. I will eat your leftist ass like corn on the cob. I'm ready. I will eat you. I will eat your ass. My children aren't going hungry. I'll do it. I'll drink your blood. And I'm starting to think about having to eat my neighbors. You think I like sizing up? I'm gonna haul him up by chain. Chop his ass up, size it up. I'm gonna haul him up by chain. Chop, 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 chop. I will eat your leftist ass like corn on the cob. I'm ready. I will eat your ass. I will eat your leftist ass like corn on the cob. I'm somebody, he would never do that. I will. I'm ready to hang them up, gut them and skin them and chop them up. You know what? I'm ready. I will eat your leftist ass like corn on the cob. I'm ready. I will. I will eat your ass. I will eat your leftist ass like corn on the cob. I'm ready. I will eat you. I will eat your ass. I will eat your leftist ass like corn on the cob. I'm ready. I will. I will eat your ass. I will eat your leftist ass like corn on the cob. I'm ready. I will eat you. I will eat your ass. And that's why I want the globalists to know. I will eat your ass first. I swear to God.
I will
the
eat
last
your
thing
ass.
I do, I'm gonna get my hands around your throat.
Don't threaten me with a good time. I'm stoned. I'm jealous. I ran out of weed, and so I'm just struggling, getting through as best I can. Okay, I've got a couple of fun cat videos. Oh, I didn't put these in order. That's okay. We can do the other cat content later. That's fine. We've got Casual Geographic. This is gonna be fucking hilarious. We've got Drag Kings with Anthony Padilla. Another kind of cat. Drag Kings. Got some The Cut. Got all kinds of stuff.
Oh my God! What in the?
Oh my God.
Oh Lord! Oh Lord! Oh Lord! Grab the girl hand! Oh Lord! You are out!
Broken. A term used to describe a character so overpowered that they make the game stop functioning as intended and exploit the game's balance in their favor. Well, if cats aren't the most broken animals on the planet, God must have discontinued first place. I talk a lot about animals that got shafted by evolution. In fact, my most popular video today was about 10 of them. Well, if I ever do a video on nature's favorites, cats would surely be at the very top. Cats are arguably the most successful predators we've ever seen.
Finally.
With so many overpowered
Dude, I've been waiting for this fucking day.
abilities, you'd swear it was plot armor. I don't even want to make this intro too long, so here's 10 superpowers your cat has that you may or may not have known. And number 1, 0 fall damage. You've probably heard that cats always land on their feet, but the real flex is being able to fall from heights that would have any human furnishing a coffin. A 1987 study showed that out of 132 cats,
This is so cool. This is known as the riding reflex, where they can always find the ground when they're falling, like really fucking fast. They just have some kind of fucking magic. Gonna be out of weed soon, might not revive for a bit, yeah. Yeah, I like to take a little tea break every now and then just to enjoy it a little.
cats that were brought to an emergency vet in New York City after falling out of a high-rise, 90% lived and less than 40% required life-saving treatment. It gets even wilder when you realize that cats actually have a better chance of getting airdrop from a building and walking it off the higher the drop was. And it's all because cats understand physics. You see, when you're in free fall, you accelerate towards the ground until you reach terminal velocity, where you literally can't fall any faster. When cats reach TV, they splay their legs and kind of just parachute the rest of the way down. And instead of landing on their feet, they break their fall with their chest and abdomen. Obviously, they don't completely tank the hit, but thanks to their relatively large surface area to weight ratio, they maximize the points of contact that smack the ground and therefore minimize the damage. And since cats apparently have lifelong beef with gravity, cats that reach terminal velocity instinctively know not to tense up but instead relax and basically turn themselves into a kite on the way down. The thing is, if they don't have time to reach terminal velocity, they end up getting hurt way.
Cats are really like, they're like flying squirrels, basically. They just like turn into a kite, like the same way. So funny.
Worse. So like in a weird twist, cats that fall from 2 to 7 stories actually end up more down bad than the ones that touch earth from 10 stories up. In fact, cats have about a 95% chance of falling from 10 stories and living. Meanwhile, the average human has a 95% chance of getting outlined with chalk. Oh, and don't think the cutoff's 10 stories either. One cat named Sabrina took a 32-story express trip to the ground and walked away with only a punctured lung and a chipped tooth. Not to mention she was released and sent home 2 days later. Being impervious to fall damage is how snow leopards can not only make a living in the Himalayas, but can legit fall clear off a cliff and the only injury they take is to their pride. Speaking of plot armor, did you know cats are actually built to predict the weather? You see, cat hair attracts static electricity, so they can pick up on the buildup of electrical charge that often comes before a really bad storm. And the cat's inner ears are sensitive to sudden drops in atmosphere.
Yo, I always wondered, because my cat's hair like stands up sometimes, and I didn't know why. I wonder if this is it. That's crazy. The win of the day today was winning a marbles game thing in Gremlo. Let's fucking go. My high mind is connecting the cats with being able to fall big falls from the marbles falling. Yeah, it's basically the same thing. You're basically a cat marble.
Atmospheric pressure, which announced the arrival of a cloud assault. Technically, so can we. It's why our ears do the most and pop on a plane, but it's just that cat ears are that much more sensitive. And they can even smell rain and lightning coming. It's so OP that sailors used to use cats aboard ships as a four-legged forecast. Apparently, a cat with the zoomies means you could expect strong winds. A cat that sneezed was warning you of heavy rain. And apparently if one licked their fur against a grain mid-sail, then you better make like God's golfing, cause it's finna hail. Now to be fair, a month surrounded by nothing but sea and seamen gives you a lot of time to just make stuff up. I mean, just how many sea monster stories was just a whale freeing his willy? But there might be some truth to the cat thing. Cats will often spend extra time licking themselves before a bad storm, since having damp fur helps with the static thing I told you about. So basically, if cats could talk, we'd see a lot of meteorologists on unemployment. And speaking of no job, cats really managed to finesse their way into living in nearly 50 million homes in America rent-free. And one of the biggest reasons is because cats are the best manipulators nature has to offer. And if you think they aren't, you're probably a mark and you don't even know it. According to researchers at the University of Sussex, many cats will exploit their owners with a soliciting,
which is like town hall. Yeah, I was there this morning playing marbles with y'all. I didn't win any. I came close a couple times, but no cigar. But W.
purr. It's more high frequency, triggers a sense of urgency in humans, and even someone resembles the cry of an infant, and we just have to assume that's intentional. And in experiments, not only did humans have a faster response time when hearing that purr compared to a normal one, it even affected people that never owned cats. This distressed purr likely triggers a deep, innate nurturing response in humans, meaning you're literally hardwired to answer to it no matter what you were doing before. So apparently cats understand psychology too. That's not even really a joke, because adult cats almost never meow to each other, but kittens do it with their mothers for food and warmth, and we have to assume they just figured out it works on humans too.
No.
And it's not just pet cats with this talent. Tigers have been known to
Yeah, I wrote that once, that cats only like meow at humans. They make other sounds at cats, like other cats. But they just meow at us because they think that we're just like their mom, essentially.
imitate the sounds of their prey to lull them into a false sense of security. Tigers have reportedly mimicked sandbar deer and black bears. Bruh, just listen to this.
Are you mooing because you want to be one with the cows? I don't think that's how you trick cows into coming over.
And it's not just tigers. The South American
What the fuck? You're just torturing these tigers with having a bunch of cows across from them.
American Margay will verbally cosplay as a baby monkey just to murk its parents like a Disney movie. And clearly the manipulation tactics were passed down. In fact, cats are so good at working people that they'd actually be great politicians, which is probably how Mayor Stubbs of Talkeetna, Alaska stayed in office for 20 years, even surviving assassination attempts by dogs, BB guns, and a deep fryer. But there's another special ability cats have, and it could arguably be the most overpowered of all. Pretty privilege. It's how dolphins got Flipper, orcas got Free Willy. Meanwhile, the best movie deal shark management could get them was being typecast as Jaws. You see, there's this thing called baby schema. It basically means that humans have an intrinsic bias towards a certain set of facial features in people and animals, to the point where it just makes us want to protect them. And with their big head, wide eyes, and round forehead, cats literally remind us of babies. And even though
yeah, that's why I call my kittens baby all the time. Little baby kitten. I can't help it. They're just baby.
It's a buff from nature, cats will 100% play into this by figuring out what combination of ear wiggling, whisker pointing, and eye narrowing gets the best response from people. Now add the fact that slow blinking with your cat can trigger oxytocin in both of you, the literal hormone that bonds a mother to her child, and you can see how cats were basically engineered to be irresistible. It's pretty privilege on every steroid possible, and it's wild because if any
Oh, yeah. I wish I could have a kitten at all times. Yeah, same. I thought about fostering because I love kittens so fucking much. Never had a pet, but maybe that'll change. Yeah, honestly, if you can get a place where you can have a pet, fucking do it. Do it. Adopt one of the old kitties. The shelter. They don't get enough love. They just want to cuddle, mostly. They want a cuddly cat. It's the old cat at the shelter.
If any other animal had a reputation for cold indifference and global genocide, it'd be cause of pause, but because it's cats, we just let it slide. Cat cuteness virtually has us in a chokehold, and I said virtual for a reason. It's said that 15% of all internet traffic is driven by cat content. That's 50% of all the stuff on the internet. I want you to think about that during this ad. Matter of fact, and I'm willing to put money on it, for some of y'all, this ad's about to be cat related. Oh, you're back. Oh, by the way, was it cat related? I'm actually curious. But the thing that almost always gets forgotten is that cats give back as much as they take, which leads to their next flex, healing powers. And not just for them. Science says having a cat living under your roof easily extends your...
No, this is true. If you have a cat purring on you, it reduces your cortisol levels. And it makes you feel happier. It's proven by science.
Subscription to life. Studies show that cat owners are 40% less likely to suffer a heart attack and have a 30% less chance of getting clapped by cardiovascular complications. And since cardiovascular disease is one of the leading causes of preventable death today, cats are like a real-life one-up. Not to mention kids that grew up around cats have less of a chance of getting folded by allergies, especially if the exposure started in early infancy or even while they're still in the womb waiting room. And then there's the fact that just petting a cat can nerf stress levels and blood pressure. But if you really want to get literal about it, cats purr at a frequency that's said to improve bone density, repair tendons, and promote healing. I never really fully understood it, but apparently cats purr at a frequency that transmits vibrations throughout the body, vibrations that help increase blood flow to the affected area, thereby bringing more nutrients. It's also believed that those same vibrations can help with soft tissue injuries like sprains and strains. I know I said they live rent-free, but considering all they do to carry our health...
Also, I swear my cats know when I have a migraine. Like, they'll come to, like, lay directly on my head and start purring. It's so sweet.
Again, I feel like we could let it slide. It's not just a buff to your health either. I vividly remember seeing a bunch of surveys that said that women on dating sites actually find men with cats more attractive. Something about seeming more nurturing or emotionally intelligent.
Real! I am 100 times more likely to swipe right on a cat guy than like a fish guy.
On an unrelated note, I want y'all to meet my editor and content manager, Aslin. Say hi, Aslin. Say hi. Huh? Oh, good boy.
I tried to find the articles online, but apparently there was a switch up, and now women find cat owners less attractive. So on another unrelated note,
yeah, he isn't mine. I'm actually just cat sitting for a friend.
Shout out to you, Yusuf. Yeah, but anyway, cat claw armor is so strong that it might just be able to save you from cancer. We've all heard the stories of feline physicians detecting it in people before anyone else could. Cats have a sense of smell about 14 times stronger than humans, with their 200 million odor receptors to our pitiful, almost embarrassing 5 million. Tumors produce volatile organic compounds, and these VOCs leave the body through sweat and breath. And there's a lot of respected researchers out there that will die on the hill that cats can sniff it out the same way dogs can. In 2018, rescue cat Mia climbed on owner Michelle Pearson's chest and wouldn't get off for anything, sniffing and pawing at, the right one, while also meowing and looking at her, as cats do. It wasn't until her husband checked for himself that he felt the telltale lump, and that's how the cat that was rescued from certain death ended up returning the favor and saving her owner from stage 2 breast cancer. And that's not even much of a reach, considering there's also stories of cats warning their diabetic owners of their potentially fatally low blood sugar. Either that, or cats can see the future and they'll choose to keep you in theirs if they like you enough. And even that's low-key valid, considering superpower number 7 is that cats have ultra instinct. Those whiskers can detect sudden changes in air currents to figure out the size, shape, and speed of nearby objects. It's like a whole radar system growing out of their face, and it's how a blindfolded cat is still hell on earth for any mouse in the area. Bro, I still don't think you're understanding just how much of a cheat whiskers are. Cats can even use their whiskers to figure out what direction their prey is trying to dodge it in right before they pounce, allowing them to cut off any possible escape routes. Now to us, it's interesting and pretty cool, but to a mouse trying to make it home to his family, that's gotta be some bullshit. And cats don't just have them on their face, they have whiskers all over. And you can't even play dead with a cat since they have carpal whiskers that allow them to tell if their prey is playing or, actually past tense. And honestly, this might be the most broken ability cats have. It's basically impossible to catch a cat slipping.
Wait, what? They know when it's dead? That's crazy.
They don't have to hear you, they don't even have to smell you. All it takes is a smallest change in air currents to dry snitch on you. But as predators, cats are the ones that do the sneaking, which only makes their next ability even more of a jihad for their prey. Superpower number 8. Cats are athletic freaks of nature. No, seriously, cats are the most athletic group of animals on Earth, and I'ma stand on that. There might not be a single event at the Olympics that one of the 40 flavors of feline can't flex on us in. You want speed? Cheetahs can go 0 to 60 in 3 seconds and can peak out at over 70 miles per hour. A cheetah on a Sunday morning jog can still get pulled over on the turnpike, ain't that crazy? Want to see some long jumping? Cougars can clear 45 feet horizontally on an off day. You want to see a cat get high minus the cat?
40 feet. Holy fuck.
The serval jumps so high that their meal prep literally involves pimp slapping birds right out of the air. And for powerlifting, here we have a literal deadlift by a leopard using only its teeth. Yes, that is a rhino. Yes, that is a giraffe. And speaking of leopards, they're also gymnasts on steroids that turn trees into jungle gyms. And if you think you're safe from the smoke and water, keep in mind that the caiman is part of one of the most successful group of predators in history. And all it took was an aquatic equalizer in the form of a cat to wreck their entire game plan. Not to mention jaguars have been seen swimming clear across the Panama Canal. Yeah, that one. Also, they have a hydraulic press for a jaw. God help you if you get caught in it. And all I need to say about tigers is that this is an Indian gar, and even this walking Red Bull logo can get choked out by a 500-pound striped Giga Garfield. And I don't even need to say anything about lions. Those triceps speak for themselves.
Giga Garfield.
Cats are nature's population control, and there isn't anywhere on Earth outside of the Devil's Ice Rink that doesn't have some kind of cat running it. Even the travel-sized ones are a menace. The deadliest cat in the world is the African black-footed cat, and because they're
Oh, isn't this also like the tiniest cat in the world?
metabolism, not only can they catch up to 15 bodies a night, they also have a hunting success rate of 60%. Not even lions, tigers, and leopards can touch that. There's a reason why domestic cats put billions of animals on shirts a year. And sometimes they turn entire species into history lessons. And unlike their wild cousins, a lot of times with domestic cats, they do it just for fun. Yeah, you think it's cute, but it's bloodlust. And if you're a mouse and op with whiskers,
They really do. They really do just hunt for fun. I had an outdoor cat when I was growing up, and she would just bring us snakes, or skinks, or mice, or whatever the fuck she found. Like,
whiskers is like Thanos. They do be inevitable, especially when you factor superpower number 9. Cats can teleport. I'm dead serious. Cats do this thing where they just spawn wherever the plot needs them the most.
Yoink.
As solitary hunters, cats can cover insane amounts of distance in times that really make no sense. Take mountain lions, for example. Young male cougars will often travel hundreds of miles away from their mother's territory to find their own. In 2009, a tagged cougar took a walk that took him from Black Hills, South Dakota, all the way to Greenwich, Connecticut. Basically, he hiked from Mount Rushmore to 30 miles from Manhattan.
holy shit, dude. Holy shit. Literally moved across country.
And it's not just cougars that go cross country. A tiger named T1 managed to walk 800 miles across India in only a few months, fueled by nothing but the power of horny. And of course, there's the story of El Jefe, a jaguar that randomly showed up in Arizona just outside Tucson. I could really keep going. From June 2017 to July 2018, a young lynx trekked from a wildlife refuge in Alaska all the way into the heart of the Yukon. A trip that totaled 2,174 miles. His name was Hobo, by the way. Can't even make that up. But the best story of teleporting cats was Clementine Jones. She was a cat in New York whose family left her behind because they were moving and they figured the trip would be too hard on a pregnant cat. Oh, little did they know. Clementine spent a couple of months with her kittens and then one day just headed out and popped up at her old family's home 1,600 miles away in Denver. And it's not even like the family got tricked by a
Oh my god, how did it find its way back to Denver? How? That's incredible.
Dude, Clementine was born with an extra toe and had a burn mark on her shoulder. There was no mistaking her. There's only one cat power that's arguably more impressive, and you saw it coming as soon as you clicked on this video. Superpower number 10, mind control. And it's all because of a little parasite called, you know the name, Toxoplasma gondii. It all starts when this parasite enters a cat because they literally only reproduce.
Yeah, I probably have toxoplasmosis, but I don't even care. They deserve it.
In their bowels, and their eggs don't get past until the cat has a movement, usually in a litter box. Now here's the problem. The Toxoplasma gondii needs to find a way back into the cat in order to hit restart on its life cycle, and the best way to do that is by setting up shop inside one of the animals on its grocery list. The only issue is, no mouse that values its life is going anywhere near a death sentence with toe beans to make it happen. So the parasite, which by the way basically uses the mouse as a layover, they begin to rewire its brain in order to remove the fear of cats. And I don't even know how, but infected mice can even start fiending for cat pee. With more irrational confidence in a father of four and an Instagram model's comments, it's easier for the mouse to get body bagged by its number one op, thus repeating this vicious mouse murking cycle. And of course, we now believe that when this same parasite invades us, they do the same thing they would to a mouse. Which is why popular opinion is that the Toxoplasma parasite causes an unreasonable attraction to cats. And it's possible that this factory reset of our personality is due to the parasite making enzymes that control dopamine. And it's not just humans that can get infected. Turns out afflicted hyena cubs end up bolder in the face of lions, which is a great way for them to get invited to a meet and greet with Mufasa. It's not 100% proven that the parasite's responsible for all the cat people in the world, but hear me out. There's proof that this parasite was present in ancient Egyptian mummies. And these were the people that straight up worshiped them. Not to mention up to a third of all people alive right now have it, and most have no idea. And that's why I say cats have the wildest plot armor I've ever seen.
Honestly, brilliant. They've outsmarted us evolutionarily. You know what I mean? And they're right for doing it.
Real talk, only cats could spin a parasitic infection into a way of living rent-free. Trust me, I would know. Isn't that right, Maple? And that's why cats are the most broken animals in nature. With cats being nature's cutest form of population control, I talk about them a lot in my book. Hold on, sorry girl. Okay. With cats being nature's cutest form of population control, I talk about them a lot in my book, 100 Animals That Can, Redacted, Kill You. Link in the description if you want to see for yourself. But make sure you drink water, hug your mother, hug a cat. It might just save your life, and if he allows it, I'ma see y'all in the next one.
Aw, you're such a good boy. You're such a good boy. Okay, you can go now.
There you go. I love that guy.
Cute. Oh.
Okay, it's not just assless, it's entire crotchless.
Oh yeah, you lost money this video. I don't know what to tell you.
Yeah, I lost fans, I lost money, but I became more me.
See, don't y'all want to be a drag king now?
This episode, Landon Cider. Hello, King Molasses.
So nice to meet you.
Hello. Spiky Van. Can I say the next word, the D word?
Yeah.
Spiky Van Dyke. I got approval for that one.
You have to ask permission now. It's like, can I say that? Yeah.
I feel like I just have to sit and marvel over this. Before I told you that I was trying not to look at you, because anytime I looked at you, I just wanted to compliment every single detail down to the rhinestone encrusted, what do you call this strap here?
It's a harness.
This harness with matching details. I mean, let's not even get to the hair, the fact that that matches, but we got the brim of the hat.
Stunning.
I love it. I'm a rhinestone cowboy without the cows.
There's so many masculine details, but yet it's still feminine in many ways.
Yeah.
At least to the mainstream.
Because isn't that humankind?
Is that? I'm not sure. See, get you the info. Spider, King Molasses, Spiky Van Dyke. Those links are fucked. I'll fix it.
We have such gender roles that are forced on us and all that, and to me, drag is just f***ing with all of that.
How long does it take you to get into this?
So I do my makeup, I put my, I paint my face, put my beard on and whatnot. Then I go to hair. And my hair takes about, I don't know, 30 minutes.
And that's not a wig, that's
my hair. Yeah, I get asked that all the time too. And I'm like, yep, that's my hair.
This getup is absolutely incredible. Is getup a term that is acceptable?
Get up close to giddy up. I see what their subconscious mind is doing.
My subconscious went to some other cowboy places.
Oh my God, imagine me in the airport with this hat on because it doesn't fit in my luggage or carry-on.
So you have to wear it on your head.
I have to wear it, and I'd be walking down the escalator, they'd be like, yeah. I'm like, I am from Prince George's County, Maryland. Yes, I like the hat. I like the hat.
What does being a drag king entail?
It entails a lot of nerve, a bit of the kind of weirdo magic. I lovingly refer to myself as a weirdo. And I think just at base level, a desire to express yourself.
When I posted that I was going to be interviewing drag kings, a lot of people were like, drag kings? I thought it was just drag queens. Yep. Drag kings is not a thing that many people have heard of.
Unfortunately. Yeah, we've been around just as long, if not longer. Men have written history, and they often write women out of it. And women take up a large history of drag king culture and our history, and we've been forgotten about and left behind. Just because we have men celebrating the femininity in drag queens doesn't mean they understand to celebrate the femininity underneath the drag king.
Even within, the subculture within the subculture, there's still some kind of
Wouldn't the inverse of appreciating drag queens be to appreciate the masculinity in drag kings? Right? Am I wrong there? I mean, I don't know. I guess it's like, it's kind of like an individual experience.
patriarchal leaning that happens.
For sure. Women weren't invited or welcome into gay and queer spaces back in the day. We were kicked out. We were not celebrated. So we had to go find our own thing. And oftentimes that's where a lot of things evolved, where you feel disgraced and you have to go find your own safe space. And women had to do that in our own queer spaces because unfortunately men didn't want women around a lot of times. So I have in my lifetime been kicked out of gay men's spaces. At gay bars, I just thought was a gay bar and I got kicked out because I was a woman. I didn't have a...
Is King Molasses an alter ego?
Damn, that's kind of lame. That's kind of fucking lame. I haven't even been to a gay bar, but I just expected that they wouldn't care. That's weird.
King Molasses, or Molasses, was just how I started, and King was my Instagram, and people just were like, King Molasses, and I was just like, all right, King Molasses.
You're like, I could get down with that. They named me King. I didn't name myself King. Someone else named me King.
Right, yeah, and that kind of gives a bit of an alter ego vibe. But in earnest, when I started, I didn't have like a backup story. I didn't have this sort of myth of myself. When I first saw drag kings perform, I thought to myself, oh, I could really do that. Like I could definitely, why do I think I can do that? That's, oh, and then all of that sort of the inner dialogue and the sort of the grumble stirred up. And eventually when I had the opportunity to perform at an open mic, open king type situation, nobody knew but like my then partner, and I performed as Molasses. I don't hold on to king so seriously in the sense that, I'm a king, I'm big, authority, I'm masculine, I'm strong, but my attachment to being a king, it really just comes from how I feel seen and validated in myself when I say, my name is King Molasses and I'm a drag king. Like that feels good. If I'm walking down the street, you would not necessarily know that I'm doing drag. The sort of the flair of it may tip some people off, but often when I am not performing and I'm on a way to the gig, I am, sir, can you, all right, cowboy, that kind of deal. And a lot of people in drag spaces sometimes exalt my drag because I look like a man. My drag is not about looking like a man. My drag is about feeling liberated from other people's expectations and systems of oppression.
Spiky is a character that...
Based. That's so fucking based. That makes sense. Normies have been exclusionary. Gay bars couldn't care, but I've never drag kings before, yeah. Yeah, it's certainly like a underrepresented group, right? Like everyone's talking about drag queens now, but no one ever talks about drag kings. Which is why I love Anthony Padilla.
That I created when I was a kid. I used to draw comics. And when I was a kid, I always was like, oh, I don't feel right. I should have been born a boy. I don't like this body. I could never figure out why I would look at a mirror and just not be able to take it. I was like, something's off. I was bullied. I mean, I got like every single day was me dreading to go to school because I knew that I was gonna get bullied. I knew I was gonna get called, names. And so I started to wear a hat on the bus and my headphones, and I would just look down and not talk to anybody. Like I couldn't make eye contact with people. I was very, just still going home every day trying to figure out. And when I was in high school was when I came up with the Spiky character. As I got older, I just started to not really care. I was like, okay, I'm gonna rebel. So I started doing all this crazy stuff and like dyeing my hair and wearing alternative clothes and just being punk AF. So I took all that and I put it into a character, and that's how I made Spiky. Spiky was the therapy for my, gender identity issues that I have. I mean, and I still have them, of course, but
those boots look sick as fuck.
He really helped with that. Like when I'm wearing Spiky, I feel invincible. All the things that I wanted to feel when I was being bullied in school, like I wanted to feel strong and powerful and untouchable, and I feel those when I'm Spiky.
Some people find drag and they do it for their own gender expression. Some people do drag as an actor like me. They just find it because we came from theater and we got tired of playing the lady in waiting characters.
Yeah, I was like trying to explain to my mom that drag isn't only like transgender people. Like it's not just like cross-dressers that like how she would have known them from like growing up in the 80s and shit. She just knows like Rocky Horror Picture Show. So I'm like, yeah, no, women can totally do drag. 100%. Yeah. Like it's just like theater. It's just another form of theater.
I got tired of waiting for a man to come save me, so I became the man.
Were there certain traits that you really wanted to show or emphasize?
Sure. When I first started, it was very much crossing between male impersonation and drag kings, where I thought I needed to look like a dude off stage and on stage and pass. So I wanted to be sitting at a bar and have a gay guy hit on me thinking I was a real dude because I looked so good like a dude. But I got tired of people not understanding that it took 2 hours to do my makeup or 3 hours to do my makeup. They just thought it was a guy that got up on drag and started performing. So I started to play with my makeup more so you can see the effort, and that just slowly evolved into the androgyny.
It's a form of self-expression as any art would be?
Right. I kind of see it as an audition every time I'm on stage to an audience that I may be the first introduction to.
Do you remember the first time you got into drag?
Yes, I was practicing my makeup for months before I was on stage for the first time, like multiple times a week for months. And so I went on stage and I was addicted. Like it was, this is where I belong. It's a perfect combination of my life's interests artistically. As an adult, having all this little commentary and fun shit you can kind of poke at, and it was just perfect.
So it gave you a way to express yourself, but how did it make you feel?
Alive.
You felt alive.
I felt alive, like orgasm. You know, where you're just, you can't, it ended and you're like, wait, I want more, but it's still kind of there, the lingering aspect, the lingering after of orgasm. Yeah, the come down.
So you're feeling the come down afterward and you want more.
Yeah, when the crowd is screaming and applauding and the whole audience is connected in celebrating your performance, as a performer, there's nothing like that experience. It literally, my fingers tingle, you know, it's electric.
Were there any things in your childhood that you think kind of led you down the path of wanting to express yourself in this way?
My mom was a badass. Yeah, she was a single parent. And she had disabilities. She was legally blind, partially deaf, had some heart problems. But she didn't let that limit what opportunity she was gonna show me. So she worked under the table in order to afford the drawing classes, the karate classes, the swimming classes, anything that I have interest in. She would work hard in order to allow me to take those things and explore. She inspired me in so many levels as a hard worker and encouraging me to explore all my interests, and was never like, oh, you did it, you have to commit to it. It's like, well, if you're not having fun.
Oh, that's such a good parent. That's so heartwarming. I love to see that. The band steam-powered giraffes members makeup like this, so accentuate their powered robot face. Let's go! It happens. It happens. That's cute though. I love that. I would like to see that.
Then let's go find something else we have fun with. Whatever the case may be, it was always support and find your joy in something and she never let anything tell her otherwise. So I couldn't take that example and let the world stop me from doing something. So I created my path, and she was like the most huge inspiration that I could ever think of.
With her help, she's encouraged you to be your truest self.
Yeah. Yeah. She used to make all my costumes.
Oh,
like,
shit.
And up until, I mean, she made my clothes too because we were poor, but all my costumes, she was legally blind, but she could see up close. So she was literally hunched over a sewing machine like this close so that she could make my costumes. I was so
It was so fucking sweet.
many things growing up, and all thanks to her exploring things and helping me see that if you want to do it, do it. There's no excuses.
Do you remember your first time in drag?
Oh my God.
What was that like?
This is gonna sound terrible, and anybody who hears this who has boobs is gonna be like, oh my gosh, why? I used box tape on my boobs to tape.
Ooh.
Yeah. It was
like all the way around? Or
all the
what
way
wa-
around, all the way
Ouch. Ouch, dude.
around, because I didn't know about this, or
Like you were about to ship yourself
I
off
was
in the
about to
mail?
ship myself off to the lesbians and cover myself in honey. And the hair, oh, this is the best part.
Ooh.
The facial hair. Oh man, I had a teddy bear,
Yeah?
and like I cut the hair off of it and put it on my chin. I had my little goatee.
You had teddy bear hair?
on my chin.
No. Not the teddy bear. Oh my God.
What was it like looking at yourself with this look?
I walked different. Like everything was so different. Like when I put that tape on, even though it hurt like hell, I walked like I owned that room. Like I owned that space. It was so weird how much everything changed as soon as I taped for the first time.
My undergrad university, we had a drag show. Like, it was a big campus event every year. That was the first time I became aware and acquainted with drag on its own. Growing up, I'm the child of 2 Nigerian immigrants, so I was very much on the doctor, lawyer, engineer, no funny business, definitely not what I'm doing right now. I had no real concept of it until I went to college, and I'd always had an affinity for masculine clothing. Growing up, I loved, like, I randomly really was into sweater vests. I don't, like, it was really intense, but I think I just always had what's considered like the more masculine kind of look and vibe. I always leaned there. So the opportunity just to dress up, to go to a show where other people are dressing up, felt really affirming.
Like you got to be more yourself?
Yeah, almost. And I didn't really have the skills or the awareness to know that that was happening. All I knew was that it felt really good. Fast forward nearly like 10 years later, I routinely watch local drag like in my adult life in DC, seen mostly queens, and then I saw an all drag king show, and the context of drag immediately changed for me. It just became this sort of grumble in my heart, and this voice kind of in the back of my head that was just like, you should do it. And I'm like, why?
Did you resist?
Oh my gosh, yeah. I think after the first King show that I saw, I didn't perform for another year. I was just like, I can't do this. Like, people will see me. You know, I was a working journalist for like 10 years. Like, that was really like the bread and butter of my work. So I was always constantly worried about how I was being perceived, and always constantly transfixed about how people were perceiving each other in the world around us.
A lot of people would assume that people who are dressing up as drag kings have a part of them that wants to be a man.
Mm-hmm. For me, it's not a form of my personal gender expression when it comes to what I want to be. I identify as a cisgender lesbian, and so I have no trans story, but I understand how my gender is still on a spectrum. So it doesn't mean that I feel more manly or I feel like a man. I'm just little bit more masculine in this. And I think that's where all that spectrum comes in. It kind of correlates to my name. So Land Insider, it's a pun. Land inside her. I'm happy that it's kind of like a slow burn.
Yeah.
Especially because at the time it was everything had to be a sexual innuendo in name. So I thought I was doing what the world was doing. But it evolved with my drag. It evolved. So now it's the Landon inside me. It's the masculine within me that is just coming out in this androgynous way. It's just this little person inside me that's the masculine version, but still through all the glitter and all the rhinestones, you know?
This is a part of you that is
It's a part of
expressing.
me, but it's more of a character performance than too much gender expression.
How can we support kings and the culture?
You know, it's
Yeah, I like how it's like really versatile that way, where it's like an in-between between like gender expression and like theatrical performance. I think that's like what's so freeing about drag. Not about wanting to be a dude per se. Right.
so easy to support kings and the type of drag that you don't see on a regular basis. It's going to your local shows, looking up hashtag drag king on social media. Those likes, those comments, those sharing, the saves, they all help tremendously. It seems so silly that we have to ask people.
Yeah, there are like drag shows in my area. I want to go to one. Like, nervous to go alone. It's about the power one feels from what's the word? Like self-identification or like free expression. I don't know.
People to like and do these things, but it really is the business that
They
we
allow
are in
you-
now.
They allow you to get to follow your dreams.
They do. You may not be able to afford to throw money at me. You may not be able to tip me digitally or come to a show. You may not be able to tip me, but you can applaud. And the version you can applaud online is by likes and comments. And that's supporting. And that going to the shows, going to the drag show, and if there's not a drag king in the cast that night, asking like, oh, do we have any drag kings that we can I can come and see next time? If you didn't know drag kings exist and you've been to a bunch of drag shows, maybe there's not many kings in your community, but it doesn't mean we don't exist. If you've been to a drag show and you saw one drag king once and he was boring, that doesn't mean all the drag kings are boring. I've been to drag queen shows and there were hella boring queens too.
That's
but
like me eating one single slice of pizza ever
Yeah.
once in my life from a really shitty place. It's
Yeah,
like, pizza
pizza's-
sucks.
Exactly. Yeah, it's you
Right.
find people at different levels of their career and their art. And when I first started, I wasn't great either, you know. So no one is phenomenal every single time.
As much as drag has all these ways of expressing yourself and having people take positive things from it, there are also people that take negative things from what drag represents.
Mhm.
And there are bills being passed.
Yes, there are multiple, and they're starting to be passed and attacking the drag community.
Sorry, I want to
Yes,
catch
there
these. The drag show bans sweeping the U.S. are a chilling attack on
are
free
multiple,
speech.
and
At least 9 GOP-led state legislatures want to restrict or criminalize drag
they're
shows.
starting to be passed and attacking.
Montana forced to ban people dressed in drag from reading to children in schools and libraries.
The drag community and the transgender
Drag queen ban bill similar to Tennessee's introduced in
community
Ohio.
and specifically is being disguised as drag. They're hiding their transphobic political charges as a drag band, protecting children from reading books to kids, saying that we're giving them some books at these children's story hours, which is completely false. It's so ridiculous. The language of these bills are so generic and unfounded on any fact and out.
It's complete bullshit. Like the language of the bills, like they would restrict from like Catholic priests from like giving sermons in a robe. Like it's so fucking stupid. Go find a show. I'm not far from SF. That's cool. You should do it. Do it. Going alone is what's stopping me. Yeah. Yeah. That's the hard part. I'm sure you can find somebody. If you can find someone, then I can find someone. And then we can both do it.
dated narratives of what gender and sex is, that just being a trans person walking down the street, if someone, it's called clocking you, if someone clocks you as being trans, you can go to jail. If you do it twice, it's a felony.
These anti-drag laws, right? These considerations of adult entertainment, fundamentally what they are anti-human laws. Like I said, drag is an art form that helps us navigate and connect with the world around us. And when lawmakers, when legislative bodies who lack the curiosity to understand their constituents and the communities that they are in, and when they act in fear, you make laws that say that I can't do the work that I need to do to survive and feel liberated in this world. That's really what they're saying. It's simple in a really, I think, atrocious and violent way. And when I say anti-human laws, it's not just us drag performers that are being targeted. It's the people in our audiences, the people that need to see us, that we may be their only opportunity to understand what liberation for themselves can look like. When we tell people, you can't be yourself, it is against a law. We are making up this thing that says, don't do this thing, but continue to participate in a world where our systems will oppress you and make it hard for you just to be yourself. It's violence. It's anti-human. And I know drag performers, and myself included, definitely have a flair for the dramatic, but it's very, very dangerous, I think, to even just speak and use this type of language. Words mean things. They ultimately build our convictions and our ideologies and our beliefs. And while I have, and I often struggle to find the compassion for these lawmakers and these legislatures who clearly don't understand or seek to feel full or big or liberated in their lives by taking those tools away from myself and the people in my community, while I can understand the fear that comes.
I feel like that's a really important point. I never even considered that before. That, like, someone might want to take away your chance at liberation because they don't feel compelled to live that way at all. That's just sad. When someone is, like, so broken by the system that they don't even see, like, the point in self-expression, like, we're so fucked. We're so fucked. It's crazy because, like, half of these Republican legislators did drag themselves in college. So it's like, it's completely hypocritical.
With seeing liberation without the tools to be aware of what you are looking at, while I can get that, I'm gonna need y'all to stop.
Now it's like, okay, you're gonna put the spotlight on me even more by doing this. I'm gonna take that and do something positive with it and make my art bigger, better, louder than ever, because now more people are gonna be watching, especially the ones who hate it. And, I know we can't, like, my thing is, I'm not gonna get angry at people. I more than anything just want people to try to be understanding. And I think that, years of like counseling has taught me, I just want people to be understanding. And you don't have to be okay with what I do, but understand that if it's not for you, that's okay. It's not personal. There are so many people out there, like especially kids out there who cannot be themselves, who are resorting to suicide because they cannot be themselves. You need to let them know it is okay. They have to have some kind of outlet that gives them peace, inner peace, and safety. Like, the safety part is so, so, so important.
Let's say, for example, there's someone watching right now who takes personal offense to just you looking like this.
I am offensive.
Just you existing.
Is there anything, like, what would you say to someone right now who's watching and is like, no, that is offensive to me, and I take that very personally.
I had a friend who was a pastor.
Personally, I would say fuck you. Hey, get fucked, guy.
And he used to come into my Starbucks. He would come in and talk to me, you know, and I would tell him about my shows and what I did and traveling. And we were talking about that. And he was like, hey, you know, I had to do something that was really uncomfortable for me, but I did it. And I think that you will be proud of it. I'm like, okay. He goes, well, the main pastor guy came up to him and said, hey, there's a girl that is in the youth group and she's gay. And I need you to tell her that it's not okay. And that if she continues to, you know, be gay and not get saved, that she's no longer allowed at our church. And he goes, well, I can't do that. And he said, well, why? And he told him, well, what if I told you that when you wake up tomorrow, you have to be with a man? And you would have to divorce your wife and that it was a sin and you would go to hell if you didn't.
Literally, it's the same. It's the same. What if it was a sin to be straight? What then? Would you just renounce all of your straight pleasures?
Wake up tomorrow and leave your wife to be with a man. Could you do it? He goes, no. He goes, that's what it's like for her. And they fired him, but he did the right thing. And that was it. That was like, I was mind blown. I was like, so I got through to this guy. Like, he was like super reserved, and him doing that was just, wow. Like, that's the best way to explain it. You know, you can't wake up one day and go, I'm this way. You just are who you are. And that's it. You either embrace it or you don't.
It's weird because in my head it sounds so silly that lawmakers would try to understand and inform, but it's like, no, let's shut the door, let's act like this doesn't exist. Let's put anyone that's behind this door into this you know, ever evolving bubble of what's not acceptable and what we don't want to even act like is part of culture. We want to shove it out of culture, right? Which then births the underground communities.
Yeah, I mean, neoliberalism is at odds with queer identity, and it always has been. That's always been the case. It's never been safe to be out. It's not like it's suddenly dangerous and they're criminalizing the queers all of a sudden. No, it's always been like this. It has always been like this. It's just like fear of the unknown, hardcore traditional values that just like rot your fucking brain into thinking that men are one way and women are another way. It's not like it just was this way.
Where drag was born in the first place.
Yeah, we're gonna survive regardless. But to your point, yes, it's saying, I don't want to get to know you. I don't this. And this looks like fear to me. And I think this looks like fear to a lot of people. And when I say fear, I am not seeking to lessen the consequences of what that fear is, but I understand it to be fear because I can relate to that. I put on a beard to cover most of my face because I did not want people to recognize me. I get what it is to be afraid. I will lose people in my life who will see this.
Made a joke about cis pride that got mod checked? What? About neoliberalism is at odds. Well, that's dumb. I have auto mod set to like the highest level. I'm sorry. I don't know. You can probably get around it some way. I don't know what it was.
I get it. That does not give me the opportunity to harm and hurt the people in my life and in my community because I am afraid.
Shall we lighten the mood a little bit?
Yeah, I'm a
Shall
little
we?
hot.
Shall we get there? Yeah, cool it down a little bit. Well, things might get a little hotter in a moment because I heard that you have a special surprise clothing item for me.
Oh, yes. Bring the chaps. Yeah, of course,
Let's
we can probably
go.
put these on over your pants, but
Let's go. I wish you wouldn't.
yeah.
It's more okay. It's not just assless; it's entire crotchless. those are crotchless
But you
chaps.
got it. You got it, right?
Baby's first pair.
We are so proud.
Okay.
Let's see. We're going. Oh, look! Come on now.
Is that what we do?
Yeah.
But zip it down.
You can zip it up. See how you feel. Let's see how far we can get
Oh wait,
it up.
is it supposed to be all the way up here?
No, you got some yams. That's why.
these are yummy.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, let's
Yammies
go.
are getting yam.
You got some yams. Oh my god. Oh my god. Wait, no, sorry, I wrote straight. Pride. Automod. Classic.
Yammy. So
Let's go ahead and zip this up. We're going to do a little avant-garde
Oh yeah.
kind of look. We're going to zip you all the way up so we can get it as
all the
high as
way.
possible.
Okay.
There we go.
That's what I'm gonna be doing later as well.
Ooh, look at this.
Okay.
Yo.
That's right.
So this is the correct way.
Mm-hmm. About to get you on OnlyFans too.
Thank you.
After this.
Thank you. So we got just YouTube memberships right now, but you think I'll need to upgrade to undisclosed website for fans.com?
I think. Let's see. Oh, you got a butt.
Dude, I told you these yammies getting hammy.
They are. Turn around.
Hey, yo.
Yeah.
Let the people see.
Yo. Those yams are yamming.
Look at these peaches. Did y'all even know that this was what he was working with?
I had no idea. And thank you. And thank you.
Yo, what's your drag king name? I know you were, for Cameron Michaels, you were Kelly, huh?
I was Kelly Michaels.
Kelly Michaels, who you gonna be for me? T-Pain? I can't get the rights to that drag name.
No, that's been taken. That's been taken.
Oh yeah, you lost money this video. I don't know what to tell you.
Yeah, but I became more me.
See, don't y'all want to be a drag king now? Was it that bad? Can you sit?
Let's
Ooh.
go.
I can say just
You
fine.
look
Oh god, he looks so hot. I can't. Oh my god.
like the love interest for Lady Gaga in her next Western. That's what this is given.
If
How do we
anyone's
feel
looking
about
at
this?
if the casting director of Lady
Yeah,
Gaga,
move on over, Bradley. Woo!
fellas,
is looking-
ladies,
It's too hot. It's too hot. It's criminal.
anyone in between.
The vapors. I'm getting them, child. Well, thank you so much for coming to my show.
You're welcome. You're welcome.
Molasses, it's such a pleasure to meet you.
Gonna go to sleep in a few minutes. I think you said this guy is Anthony Padilla. He seems really nice. Yeah. Anthony Padilla. He is really nice. He does all kinds of interviews with like underrepresented voices. So, highly recommend. Highly recommend the Padilla follow. But sleep well. Because he's hot as all, yeah.
I've been liberated. Welcome. You're welcome.
Molasses, it's such a pleasure to meet you.
I've been liberated.
Me too. Oh my god. I was not expected to be so liberated tonight.
And you gotta always remember, you gotta eye.
Oh, so teach me the art of the eye.
The art of the eye
Yeah.
is about maintaining your gaze and not breaking like around too much. So if you're moving, you're kind of just maintaining it and you stay and then you just look.
Is there a thought that accompanies that action? Is it that I want to whatever I'm looking at?
It's more like I want you.
That look was fucking murderous. If looks could kill, dude. Oh my god. Yes, sir. Whatever you say, sir. Oh my god. I think he has contacts in too. I was looking throughout the interview and they were like dilated as fuck the whole time. So I don't know if it's just like that or if those are contacts, but in any case, Spooner.
Thought that accompanies that action? Is it that I want to whatever I'm looking at?
It's more like I want you to want me to fuck you.
Oh, so
Yeah.
you don't want to them. You want them to want
you, but I want you to think I want you to you.
Got it.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's not crazy Zoolander, but it's kind of in that realm of
Okay. A subtle
the
blue steel?
non-parody. Yeah, but not the parody version of Blue Steel.
Okay.
Like a real, like.
Okay, so it's a little thing with the mouth, though. Oh, so it's like how I take my
Okay.
selfies.
Yeah, and then you'll just evolve into camera work.
Right, yeah. And I think it's
Oh, it's how I take my selfies.
why I lose a lot of guys who follow me when I post a selfie. I think that's why.
Yeah, because they realize that they want you to f them.
That's the people that, yeah.
That adds up.
Scott, what do you think of Leanne?
Oh my god. Oh my god, it's the button time. Oh god. Oh, it's time. Time has come. I don't know what version this is. I'm not attracted to you, is the title.
Scott, what do you think of Leanne? Do you find her attractive?
Yeah, I do.
Oh, thank you.
Thank you.
I guess the question back towards you.
I'm not physically attracted to you.
I mean, she said thank you. Did you have to ask?
Welcome to the button.
Straight guy / non-binary mask, though, so I'm not attracted to guys, but he's clearly a beaut. Yeah. Yeah. You know? You can always appreciate a good-looking guy.
Speed dating show. When the button lights up red, either player may press it and swap out their date for a new person.
Get out of here.
If 2 people can last on a date for 10 minutes, they win an all expenses paid second date.
This is the button.
Hi.
Hi.
I'm Isaiah.
Leanne, nice to meet
Nice
you.
to meet you, Leanne. Let me ask you a question. Do you like...
Do I like
Buzzers? Buzzers?
Honestly, I don't know. I'm trying to think of a question.
Okay, can we take a minute? Okay.
Why aren't you nervous?
He didn't have a question. He didn't have a question. He just like me for real. Stalling, trying to come up with a question on the spot.
I don't
think of a question.
Okay, can we take a minute? Okay.
Why aren't you nervous?
I don't know.
Is it an attraction nervous?
Could be.
I feel like, yeah. Do you have any siblings?
I don't. I'm an only child
Only
raised by a
child?
single mother. So
Okay.
the bond with my mom is very close.
Oh my god, his eyelashes, dude. They're so curly. They're so curly and so long.
She's my best friend, my world. That's honestly the type of love I'm looking for, is that motherly type of love.
So you want another motherly type
Not
of love
another
from-
motherly type, but I mean, my mom loves me right. What are you looking for?
I feel like so much of my life is changing that I'm not really trying to get into something super serious right now.
She got it first.
Why'd you reject me?
I'm not looking for the same thing
Yeah, I
as
think-
you.
Respect, though.
Yeah.
Respect. It was
Oh,
good
well,
talking.
I'm good. It was nice meeting
It really
you.
was
I
good
know
talking
she's
to
out
you.
there.
Honesty. Honesty is key.
Have a good day.
Yeah, you too. Oh, I feel bad.
So,
What's your go-to karaoke song?
Take on Me, probably.
Okay.
You?
I like it. Before He Cheats, by Carrie
Classic.
Underwood.
If I heard it, I'd know it, but I have no.
Oh god.
I mean, you want to.
God. Oh god, she's toxic. Buzz her out now. Buzz her out now.
Sing it?
Hmm.
Sorry.
You don't know
you're
the
gonna,
song?
you're gonna hate me.
Okay, let me see. Okay. I dug my key into the side of it.
Oh god.
This pretty little soup.
Oh.
Up 4-wheel drive.
Yeah. Okay.
That's all you need to know.
Josh, what'd you think?
Oh, no, it was good.
Oh.
Pain. Oh god. Ah! Oh, it was so off key. Oh, I'm tone deaf and I know that was off key.
Okay.
The fact that you were able to belt out like that, and I know how, because I'm here, it's a little, but it's not. You're good.
Okay. Oh, well, thank you.
So what do you do?
I love to read. I've started this book club.
Wow.
Wow.
Sorry.
All right.
It was nice to
Nice
meet
meeting
you.
Why'd you eliminate Josh?
Maybe if you sang to me a little bit. Leanne, nice to meet
Scott.
you.
Nice to meet
Scott.
you.
Well, how's your day going?
It's pretty good. Had a late night last night. How about
Yeah. I want to delve more into this Saturday night that you had.
you? Went clubbing with my friends.
Leanne, do you like to party?
Me? Oh, I like to party.
Scott, what do you think of Leanne? Do you find her attractive?
Yeah, I do.
Oh, thank you.
Do you? I guess the question back towards you.
I'm not physically attracted to you.
That's fine.
Yeah. But I feel like I need to get to know someone.
Honest
I
queen.
think Scott touched me first.
It was nice meeting you. Good game.
What's your type?
I don't really have a type, but the recent tendencies of my dating habits have been
I do like this sweater. Little suns. Cute. What is this? Adidas?
Asian.
Is Asian your racial preference?
I don't think I have a racial preference, but I think that's their racial preference towards me.
Hi.
I'm Scott.
Zenna.
Zenna.
So what do you do?
I work in video games. I make video games. How about you?
I'm actually a master esthetician.
Okay,
Yeah.
so...
Skincare, lashes,
Yeah.
and all that.
What are some of your deal breakers?
How do you feel about God?
God? I'm a lapsed Catholic.
Oh. You're just like never going to church.
When I'm with my family,
Mhm.
when I'm with them, I go. but-
You go.
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
Yeah. I'm guessing she's very religious.
So do I leave or he leaves? Oh, you come with me. Me? Yeah. Okay.
Scott, why'd you press me?
I don't get the questions about God. Like, I don't typically want that to be an importance in my relationships.
Yep. Immediate reject. Also same. I would also reject for that.
Do you believe in God?
You can ask me that question if I'm a little bit more drunk.
Okay.
Hi. My name's Scott.
Ariel, nice
Ariel,
to meet you.
nice to meet you.
So, I guess, are you looking for something long term or like what are you looking for now?
At this point, I am looking for something long term. I just want actually someone to travel with would be also pretty cool.
Do you like to travel?
I like to travel a lot, yeah. I think I'm traveling like every month for the rest of the year.
Oh, nice. Where are you going?
Pittsburgh next month, and then the month after I'm going to LA and New York.
Fun fact about Scott.
Girls all over the place.
He's been held at gunpoint.
Oh my God.
I have been held at gunpoint.
Why? What happened?
I was in Tokyo. Me and my friends were drunk, and we went to like a bar, but they have a cover charge of like $300 to just sit down.
Mm-hmm.
And we didn't realize this. We're broke college students, and when we tried to leave, it was like a shady, like gang-related, like run bar.
Oh my God.
And then they held me hostage so my friends can get
No, he was at the Yakuza bar.
money. But then they realized we're kind of dumb college students and took up whatever money we had and told us to leave.
Oh my God. I went to Tokyo for 9 days and I felt like it was one of the safest places I've been as like a female solo traveler. So that's
Yeah.
wild.
It was in Kabukicho, which is the red light district. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I've heard that women feel a lot safer traveling in Tokyo than anywhere else. Just because there's like less crime and like more public services. But I guess it probably does depend on the district. Why does he have a job and travel so much, right? I mean, maybe he's like in marketing or something like that, where like he has to like travel to the different stores or different HQs. I don't know.
Oh, right?
Okay.
Why'd you press me?
I just wasn't like feeling the spark, I guess, like since we sat down, honestly. Nice to meet you, Ariel.
Ariel, nice to meet you. I'm Amir. I like your style, by the way. Are those
Thanks.
pants? What are those?
Yes, well, black and white. I don't know if they're like flowers
Those
or what
are
they
sick.
are.
Oh, well, why have you? Because I think I came in, you were here, so you hit the button. Why did you hit the button?
So the guy before you, like, it was just a no from like walking in. Like I could just tell he was judgmental from like when I was walking in. I don't know. He just felt like he was like, I'm flying off here and I live here, and I was like, the fuck is this? Like I don't need to talk to someone. Like I don't know. He was not up my alley personally.
Right. Do you see yourself staying in the Seattle area long term?
I do.
I'm leaving for sure. I just don't know how and when.
For sure.
Makes a lot of sense.
Oh
but
my God, it was great talking to
yeah,
you.
it was cool talking to you too.
So short-lived.
Good luck.
Take care.
What's your ideal woman?
I certainly like someone who's creative.
Hi.
How are you?
Good, how are you?
I'm Amir.
Cleo, nice to meet you.
What are each of you looking for in a relationship?
I'm honestly looking for like a deeper connection with
Wow, she is so red. She's sunburnt?
somebody. That and just traveling the world. Yeah. Have you traveled?
I have. I just came back from Athens, Greece. I've been to Japan. I've been to Rwanda.
So you could see yourself like traveling throughout the year, like not staying in one place.
100%. I mean, that's kind of the MO at the moment. That's like what I'm looking to do.
My last relationship was like a year ago. I've done a lot of shit on my own. I'm like, I think this would be more fun to share this with somebody now, you know?
Yeah, are you a good planner?
I'm kind of more like spontaneous. I thought you were about to hit the button. I was like,
No,
what?
no, it's a dap.
No, I feel like they're gonna match. It seemed like a good match.
That's a dap. No, because I'm not a good planner at all.
Could he have known if she was creative or not? Yeah, I don't know. That seems like a stretch. I don't know. That's a hot take. He buzzed her because of her weight. Yeah. Yeah, I think so. I mean, the way she said that he was being judgmental when she walked in, you can only assume.
What's the next trip?
I really want to go to Australia.
Me too.
Can you do this next part of the date holding hands?
Sure.
Both? I feel like we're like about to pray.
Yeah.
Now it feels like a handshake. Arm wrestle?
Yeah, maybe? No.
How about you put your hands on the table, one palm over the other palm?
Yeah. Wait, I want to be on top.
Is that power?
I'm just,
Is that power?
I just,
Is that
I was
control?
talking more sexually, but.
Ah, okay, okay. What were we talking about?
Talk more about sex.
Okay.
Yeah, what do you like sexually?
Eye contact's pretty cool.
These eyes are dangerous too, so.
I'm trying to like circle back to wherever the hell we were.
Before we started talking about me on top?
Yes.
Yeah, I don't remember. How old are you?
I'm 35.
35.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm 28.
I'm old.
You're not old.
Thank you.
I'm sensing connection. Am I right?
He was rubbing my hand with his thumb, so.
Was I?
Yeah, you were going.
Was I doing that?
You were.
I'm gonna go red one more time.
Okay.
And if you're not feeling it, press me.
Called it. I called it. I knew it. They're cute.
It's a match! Yay!
They're cute. If they're gonna go traveling together, I love that for them.
We did it! Now what?
I don't know, actually.
Should we just go on a date?
Yeah. Should we just hang out?
Fuck yeah, we'll be like, haha, bitches. We matched and you didn't.
Got him. Okay, we got a speed paint from one of the queer artists I discovered in Pride Month. I love this guy. I love his art. This is so fucking beautiful. Oh my god. I love his process. He starts with the just like palette painting, where you just like take your palette and smear the paint on. To just like block out. And then he'll like go back in with the brush to like do details. So fucking beautiful. crazy. It looks like this is all in one day. Maybe it wasn't. I don't know. It's hard to say, but like, it was definitely done pretty quickly. So sick. God, I love his style so much. I love all the texture. The texture, the colors are immaculate, and none of them are like muddy, even though he does a lot of like remixing. It's just beautiful.
So you're in pain.
Yeah, my back hurts right now.
You've had a Mr.
My neck, my back, my pussy, and my crack.
Bean week. You've been getting stuck on vehicles.
I have.
Yeah, everyone's in town this week, Chad included. People go to Disney Day on the Sunday after VidCon. Chad said, no, I'm going to go to Disney on Saturday. And that turned out to be a mistake.
Well,
I'm not burned enough.
There was a different group. I didn't know about the Disney thing on Sundays until Saturday night. And then there was a different group that wanted to go on Saturday.
Yeah, Steph texted me about it, and I was like, I got shit to do. I'm like,
Yeah.
I have panels.
I had all my stuff before
Oh,
that.
okay.
So
Yeah,
it
yeah,
worked
yeah.
out. And so I was done, wanted to celebrate a little bit.
Right, for
and
sure.
so that group was like, hey, we're going to Disney. And I was like, that
Mhm.
sounds great. I've never been to Disney.
Yeah.
We go, and this isn't even the first like mishap that I experienced on this trip, but the Millennium Falcon ride, which is like essentially just a pod that they stick you in, they seal you into because there's a door that shuts. They put your seatbelt on. It's one of those interactive ones where you have two pilots, you have a gunner, and then you have
It's
an
a
engineer
fun
in the
ride
back. It is a
when
fun
it
ride.
works.
Yeah, so I'm the gunner. And
You're like going.
Yeah, I'm pressing a button like this on the side.
Yeah.
Then it just shuts down. And it was right after we had crashed into the ground because it has a screen.
In the game.
In the game. Yeah. In the game.
You
so
don't
this
understand that
this
it's a
was
game.
supposed to happen. Yeah. So it's on the screen and you do drive it so you can crash
You can't
it.
crash. I didn't know that was
So,
possible because
yeah,
I'm such an
I didn't
esteemed
either.
pilot, but yeah.
Yeah, so we had just crashed to the ground and an alarm started going off. And so we were like, oh, okay, this is part of the ride. And so it took like 30 seconds for us sitting there with the alarm
Ain't no way, dude. I would be freaking out immediately.
to be like, I don't think this is part of the game.
Ride sucks. This is such a long alarm.
This is kind of a boring ride now because the screen also shut off. And you
God.
can't see.
Yeah, that seems normal.
You can't see out of the frosted glass in the front. So we're just in a sealed pod, can't see anything. And all we can hear, there's 3 speakers in this pod, is this blaring alarm and this voice that keeps going, this is an emergency. This is not a drill. You need to get out of the building immediately. You need to get out. And we're like trying to get out, messing with our seatbelts, and they're stuck. We can't move out of our seatbelts.
A fucking nightmare situation. Nightmare.
And this ride goes up. I didn't know this at the time, so it got scarier, but it apparently goes up and down as well. And the higher up you go, the tighter your seatbelt gets. So when it stopped, we were all the way at the top.
It gets tighter by design to keep you. Okay.
Yeah, so we're all the way at the top, and our seatbelts are as tight as they can possibly be, and we can't pop it out. That red tab doesn't move. We can't pop it out.
Right.
To prevent people from getting out during
Just
the
like
ride.
Star Wars, yeah.
So we're trying to pop it out, and we realize while we're listening to this alarm blaring, this voice telling us we need to get out, there's an emergency. We got split up as a group. So we were stuck in this pod, and the other half of our group was in a different pod.
Right.
Also got stuck, but only for like 4 minutes.
Not to interrupt you, but we do have a clip courtesy of Evan and Caitlin, who are wonderful people. Also, shout out.
So this is the other half of our group.
Yeah, so we can hear the siren.
We're stuck. We can't get out.
Moving.
We can't
No, that's
get
the
out.
scream.
We can't get out.
Oh, they're reorienting us. They're reorienting us. Okay.
What just happened?
Is there an
not a helpful alarm.
No.
By the way, you're stuck.
Also, the way that video ends in the middle of the alarm doesn't inspire confidence.
Literally, like, if... What are you supposed to do? What are you supposed to do? Oh God, I would lose my goddamn mind.
No, because it's so anxiety inducing. It was so blaringly loud. Like you're trying to communicate with other people and it's so loud that you're screaming over this alarm and you can't get to each other because we can't leave our seats.
And you're trying to communicate with Rick? Who was that? We can maybe pull up the photo. There is Keith.
Keith, behind me. Keith was sitting. He got separated from his family on accident and ended up in the pod with us.
Poor Keith.
Yeah. So we met Keith. We were talking to Keith. Yeah. So the second part of our group was only stuck for like 4 minutes, and then they were out. Apparently, there was this line, this form of employees that showed up. Soon after the alarm started, I'm not sure how many, like 50. Basically, they were walking in a formation, kind of linked, and they would shout orders, and they would all take a step forward and take a step forward.
Oh my God.
And they pushed the crowd back away, like people trying to be onlookers of what was going on with the alarm. So
Like
they were
riot cops.
They were just like pushing everybody back. And so our other half of the group was out there witnessing that, I think. And
fucking ACAB, even at Disney.
So they're calling them, they're on the phone with them, and we're like, we're still stuck in here. We can't get out of our seatbelts. We're still in here. And they were like, oh, we've already been evacuated. And it's been like 10 to 15 minutes. We're like, we're still in here. And they're talking to employees that they passed, and they're like, our friends are still up there. And somebody told them, I've seen all the pods. All of the pods are empty. Everybody's been evacuated. And we were like, no, they haven't. We're still in here. We can't move. What's going on?
FaceTime with them and you're like, hello, in the cabin.
I think you're just in the real Millennium Falcon. You're not in one of the pods.
Walked out and we were at an indoor.
They're talking to whoever they can, and they're not being helpful. They're all like, oh no, it's not, nothing's wrong. Everything's fine. Everyone's been evacuated while we're still stuck in this pod. Like I said, I'm trying to figure out how to get out of the seatbelts and what we're gonna do if like we start to smell smoke, because we can't see out of this pod. So that would be our only way of knowing if something like that was up, because it was a fire alarm. Like that is the alarm they would use for a fire. Even if I do get out of the seatbelt, it doesn't matter because the door doesn't open.
Dude, imagine you're just trapped in a seatbelt during a fire. Holy fuck. Oh my God. An actual nightmare that I've had, I think.
Open from the inside. It's one of those where they press a button and it slides and closes, and there's no way to open it. So even if we got out of our seatbelts, we wouldn't be able to do anything.
Yeah. It hella seems like you should. It super duper feels like there should be something they let you do in there.
Yeah. So it just, I don't know.
Like an emergency release or something?
No. So we were stuck for like 25 minutes, I think, with that alarm. And
everybody else was gone.
It was so, we got so sick of the alarm that we were trying to put stuff in front of the speaker, and Hassan actually used the Mickey Mouse puppet to shove it up against the speaker, and is it holding it there with his foot to just stop the alarm because it was stressing us out.
It's so funny. That's like his daily D&D power.
Yeah.
Like his special trait.
Right.
I know what I have.
Like +2 dexterity.
Yeah. Hassan, by the way, for context,
roll for Mickey Mouse.
does Mickey Mouse puppetry on TikTok, among other things.
I had no idea it was such a long, elaborate stay, and that you got stuck more than other people.
And that you were listening to the thing for the whole time.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's not helpful, is it? It's like, I know we're stuck.
It's a fucking nightmare. A nightmare. You would think they would shut it off after a while.
Yeah, the whole thing is like just a repeat message of them telling us to leave and that we need to get out of the building. And we're like, that's super helpful. Thank you.
By the way, your belt doesn't come off. Did you know that?
By the way, you're stuck. Yeah. And they were acting like we should have been able to get out of our seatbelts, because they eventually, what took so long was that we were at the highest point on the ride. And so they had to get like these rolling stairs, I guess that they use for maintenance. They had to go get them so that they could come up and get us. And so after like 25 minutes, we heard people outside with that, and they were like, hello. They started knocking on the door, which doesn't make any sense.
Like, oh, come in.
Yeah.
Come in. We're just hanging out.
Let me pop the latch for you.
Oh, we should leave, you say?
Oh, you said, oh, sorry, we've been hanging out. There was a family that they had just evacuated right before us. We're in this back hallway, so there's a...
Yeah, we're just having a grand old time. We just lost track of time. I didn't realize we should be out like 30 minutes ago.
Family with us as well, and their kids are crying because they were also stuck in their seatbelts and they couldn't get to their kids while these alarms are going off. They take us out, and we're in this back alley, and there's a row of fire trucks just in the back alley. Then they take us out past the formation of employees. That was kind of the deal on our end. I know Amanda ended up cutting her finger. Amanda from Swell Entertainment.
Yeah, Swell Entertainment.
Was trying to get out of her seatbelt and like sliced her finger.
Oh my god. She's got a case.
Yeah, so.
Fuck. Ouch, dude.
And when they got out, they had to go up to the employees and were like,
and
bleeding.
I heard they weren't taking her seriously.
They weren't. No,
Yeah.
It was really frustrating because, and I wasn't there for the whole part of that, but she was saying that they were trying to tell her she was fine and that she didn't need to go to the medical center because they gave her a Band-Aid, and she was like, I don't want to just slap a Band-Aid on this. I touched the seat and I want to get it disinfected, and they were like, oh no, here's a napkin. And she was like,
It's a
no.
disinfecting napkin.
I know it was just a dry, a dry napkin.
Chewbacca has touched this.
Yeah.
It's covered in Wookiee fur.
It's a magic napkin.
It's the happiest place on earth.
Yeah.
Disney rides, this happening at Disney has to be exceptionally rare.
Yeah.
I mean, it must be because people were looking, like all the onlookers that were gathering, that had to have been gathering because they had to go get an army of employees to push them back. Everybody else in the pods was super upset. And after that, we went to the medical center and recuperated and swapped stories. We were all like hugging each other, like, oh my God.
Isn't the medical center is like, they dress as Goofy and shit?
Yeah, they're all dressed as Goofy. Yeah.
Big thick gloves, unable to accurately put Band-Aids on and stuff.
Like dropping bandages.
I lost my license.
After that, we went on the Buzz Lightyear ride, and
bold of you to get back on her. Hell yeah.
It stopped midway. We
got right back on that horse and regretted it.
Twice. It stopped.
Are you serious?
While we were on there. Yeah.
What?
We were
I thought that was a joke too. I thought he was joking. Gucci girl, how you doing? How you moving, girl? Oh my God, maybe I have to watch that episode. Oh my God, that was hilarious. How's your day looking? That future girl, yeah, we on now. Take my money, go away, all you want it. Girl, too rich for me.
I spent a week alone in the metaverse. I always wanted to do an intro like that.
Classic. I'm getting pretty tired. I will be back tomorrow. Back tomorrow for Video Essay Sunday. We've got many a video essay to cover. Many a topic. Thank you for being here. Thank you for out. I appreciate you. I hope you have a good one. Drink some water and take care of yourself. Bye-bye.
I need a smoke where the match is. I'm a king, fuck your status. Getting dough, I pay no taxes. I'm a star in all fashions of the word, bro. I'ma flip the bird, bro. Coming through in foreigns and all you hear is skirt, huh? All polo and some white shoes. Funny thing now is I'm a nice dude, but when you cross that line, it ain't the right move. But my tender bitch is what I like knows. Oh yeah, can you feel that? I'm giving y'all that real rap. I'ma get the money, make the deal fat. Making hits with a steel bat. The Audi Quattro or that Monte Carlo. Which whip will I whip tomorrow? Got 6 chicks down to sip the bottle. Go coast to coast so I can ship the cargo. I don't really know if these people keep it real. I'm just telling all you fuckers how the homie really feel. And I'm looking up to God. Can you tell me what's the deal? I'm just waiting for your answer at the altar where I kneel. I need a smoke, where the matches. I'm a king, fuck your status. Getting dough, I pay no taxes. I'm a star in all fashions of the word, bro. I'ma flip the bird, bro. Coming through in foreigns and all you hear is skirt, huh? Let me get the money. I see you bitches acting funny. Can't take nothing from me. Nah, rapping blunts like mummies. Yeah, we freed the homie when he caught a bid. I roll around, you can't stop the kid. Truth be told, I'm hot as shit. Just say what up when you spot a kid. Real talk, I'm trying to speak the truth. I stay loyal, bro, to my roots. Since 15, I've been in the booth. That's 16, I was on the move. Used to ride in that old Chevy. Now we out here show ready. I can see the bull, you're so petty. You can have your shine, my glow heavy. I need a smoke, where the matches. I'm a king, fuck your status. Getting dough, I pay no taxes. I'm a star in all fashions of the word, bro. I'ma flip the bird, bro. Coming through in foreigns and all you hear is skirt, huh?